Is the resurgence of a pair of NFL powerhouses as the LA Raiders and Miami Dolphins reclaim their identities as playoff teams. But on successive snow-blown Sundays in Buffalo, both clubs met their playoff destiny as the Bills authored a cold and bitter final chapter. 7 months have melted away those disappointments and replenished the drive for a championship season. The Raiders have dusted off some old silver and black magic with the hopes that former 49ers Roger Craig and Ronnie Lott further the commitment to excellence. Dan Marino is still Miami's heart and soul, but it's the defense that must stiffen if the Dolphins are to surge ahead. A world away on the far east continent, the Raiders and Dolphins have gathered for a summer battle, one that will prepare them for the winter wars ahead. To Tokyo, Japan, and the start of our 5th National Football League season on ESPN. Good evening, everybody. I'm Mike Patrick. Thanks for joining us. We have the Dolphins and the Raiders for you tonight. Two of the most proud franchises in the National Football League who had fallen on some tough times until last year when both responded with 12-4 records and got back to the playoffs. For Miami, it was a question of having an improved defense and better balance on offense. But Joe Theismann, when you think about Miami, the first thing that still comes to mind is Dan Marino.
And it has to be. Dan Marino has been the heart and soul of this franchise since 1983 when he came into the league and took it by storm. When you talk to Coach Shula and you talk to Dan Marino, they tell you that statistically he may not have had his best year last year, but as far as leadership goes and the job that has to be done to lead this football team, he certainly did. On the defensive side, they've just got to get more physical. The 4 games they lost, the teams dominated them running the football.
Well, the Raiders made it all the way to the AFC Championship game, and one of the primary reasons for that was the emergence of Jay Schroeder. Often criticized as a Redskin and as a Raider, he had the best season of his career. He was just terrific.
Jay had a great year, and the thing that really made the difference in Jay is he felt comfortable being the #1 quarterback. He had the job. He knows it's his. He cut down his interceptions to 9 only. Through 19 touchdown passes, just 9 interceptions. It's that kind of consistency that they're going to look for. The addition of Ronnie Lott and Roger Craig is certainly going to help the Raiders out a lot. And I ran into a guy on the street who told me an old Japanese proverb. He said, for the Raiders and the Dolphins to get to the Super Bowl, they must not go through Buffalo in January.
One of the first pearls of wisdom I guess we'll hear tonight from the Far East. Art Shell beginning his 3rd year as the Raiders head coach. Since taking over, he has reinstalled Raider pride and tradition in this ball club. And Don Shula beginning his 29th year, needing only 2 victories to join George Halas in one of sports' most elite clubs. Coaches with 300 victories. Jager to kick it off, and Aaron Craver and Mark Higgs are deep to receive. And we are set to go from Tokyo. Craver from the 3-yard line. Stops short of the 20, cut down at the 17-yard line. And now for tonight's McDonald's starting lineups. Dan Marino leads the Dolphins. His stats weren't quite as gaudy last year, but he took them to a 12-4 record, and that's what counts. A more balanced offense was one key. Sammy Smith gave the Dolphins 831 yards on the ground. The line vastly improved last year, and Richmond Webb became the first rookie tackle ever named to the Pro Bowl. Miami will start 1st and 10 from its own 18-yard line. And Page gets the first carry of the ball game across the 20 to about the 21. Take a look at the Raider defense. It starts up front with a strong line. Defensive end Howie Long, with 6 Pro Bowls in 10 years, can still dominate. They want to upgrade their linebacking, and to that end traded with Tampa Bay to get the versatile Winston Moss. The secondary gets a boost from Ronnie Lott, a Pro Bowler at corner and free safety with the 49ers. He will play strong safety here. Second and call it 6. Long signal count. And Smith across the 25 to about the 26-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd and short.
You can look for patterns early from teams, even in preseason. And what Miami's trying to do is, again, reestablish that balance that they had last year, taking some of the pressure off of Dan Marino, getting them into 3rd down and 3s, 3rd down and 2s, where now the defense isn't sure quite what he's going to do.
3rd down, 2 yards to go for Miami on its opening possession. Smith, the sole setback. Page goes to a wing. Marino, the quick toss. He's got his tight end, Greg Beatty. And Beatty with the first down out across the 40-yard line. Eddie Anderson ran him out of bounds.
When I had a chance to visit with Dan Marino earlier this week, he said the thing he felt like he did better than anything last year was audible eyes at the line of scrimmage. Here he just runs a quick slant to the outside man. They lose him in coverage. Nobody picks up the tight end. You wind up with a short pass, big game.
Clayton really cleared out the area, and Beatty wide open as he drifted into the flat, so the first down of the ball game. Clayton and Duper are the wideouts. They'll run from the eye. Marino with that little sidearm action completes. Clayton near the Raider 40-yard line. Ricky Ellison, the middle linebacker, in on the stop, along with Lionel Washington.
Mark Clayton hiding his eyes from everybody. You know, you can look in a guy's eyes and see what's going on. Here he's wearing his glasses. You can't tell. But the Dolphins need a healthy Mark Clayton. Pushing up the field on Lionel Washington, makes a little breakout. I always felt like the toughest position in football. They talk about the backup quarterback on a team. I think it's cornerback. Toughest place to be.
Out there all alone most of the time. Another first down for Miami, just outside the 40-yard line of the Raiders. Sammy Smith, who says he wants the ball 20 times a game this year, gets down to the 39. And really, when Sammy Smith got the ball 20 times a game last year, the Dolphins won. When he didn't, they lost. Bob Golick was in on the tackle. The numbers on Sammy Smith from last year, 831 yards, the most for a Dolphin back since Larry Zonka.
1979. Long time ago.
Yes. And that improved offensive line, if he gets the ball enough, would have a chance for 1,000 this year. 2nd and 9. Comes the blitz. Marino unloads in a hurry. Again, got it to Beatty down near the 35. Push back. Gang tackling led by Ronnie Lott. And personally, I thought the deal to get Lott and Craig was a great move on the part of Al Davis. Here are two guys who have been there, great leadership qualities.
It's no deal. That's the neat thing about it. You just look at the Plan B list and you say, hey, thank you very much. Ronnie Lott expected to be put on Plan B. That wasn't a surprise to him. Visiting with him, he harbors no ill feelings. He feels like it's a new opportunity. He's playing a different position at strong safety, and he's looking forward to competing for a job.
3rd down, 4 yards to go. Trying to make the Pro Bowl a 3rd different position in the secondary. Just might do it. 4 wideouts in the game. Marino under some pressure, unloads. Duper to the 1-yard line. Brought down by Terry McDaniel. Marino is showing you his best early in the preseason.
He didn't get a chance to show it at all last week when they had a total of 115 yards offense against the Bears. But now you see him look over the defense. He knows he's got the one-on-one coverage, has tremendous confidence in Super Duper. And now he just bounces down on the 1-yard line. Ronnie Lott trying to get back to the middle where he normally played, but just couldn't get over. His job is to protect the middle of the field. It's up to the corners to cover people one-on-one down the sideline.
First and goal, Miami. Sammy Smith. Now it's going to be first and goal from the 5, and the Raiders really jammed that up. Ricky Ellison was in there in a hurry along with Ronnie Lott.
Yeah, but you got to give a lot of credit to Greg Townsend, number 93, the defensive end on the right side. He drove the tackle back, which created the pileup that Sammy couldn't get around. Greg Townsend, 12.5 sacks last year, went to the Pro Bowl, his first trip to Hawaii. Said he wasn't going to go to Hawaii until he went to a Pro Bowl.
82 sacks in 8 years. Without a lot of publicity, has quietly become an outstanding defensive lineman. Second and goal, ball spotted at the 5. Play action, Marino. The Smith couldn't hold the ball. And that has been one of the problems with Sammy Smith, and the reason that the Dolphins spent a third-round draft choice for Aaron Craver, because he is exceptional coming out of the backfield, and we feel we'll get a look at him later in the game. Smith wants to stay in every play, but if you drop those, Joe, you're coming out on third down.
Well, you know, the game has evolved so much, Mike, that it's become a game of specialists, and you're absolutely right. Right now, your defined role. Sammy Smith is the guy that's going to carry the ball on first and second down as long as you keep within reasonable yardage. Aaron Craver's the guy that went to God, hopefully can take some of the pressure off of Jim Jensen on third down.
Craver is number 34, and he's in the lineup right now. Spread the field on third and goal. Marino throws behind his intended receiver in the end zone, incomplete. Double coverage on Duper. Eddie Anderson and Terry McDaniel were right there for the Raiders, so it's fourth and goal.
Eddie Anderson covering one-on-one on Duper. Nice. Dan put it the only place he could, low and inside. You know, Marino does so many little things that are signs of greatness. When you're down close, you don't want to give up the shot at 3. Throw the ball down low. The worst that can happen, it's an incompletion. If your guy catches it, great.
With Stoyanovich helping out Charlie Bauman out of West Virginia, and the World League of American Football is on and gets the kick. Miami on its opening drive has taken a 3-0 lead, and we'll be back to Tokyo, Japan in just a moment.
Timing is everything at your Cadillac dealer. Because right now, when you buy a new 1991 Cadillac, you'll receive
NFL special. The 1991 American Bowl is brought to you by Cadillac and your local Cadillac dealer. Discover why the only way to travel is Cadillac style. And by Ace. Ace is the place with the helpful hardware man. And by Converse, it's what's inside that counts. Dan Marino hit 4 of 6 on that opening drive that lasted 6 minutes and went 83 yards in 11 plays to put the Dolphins on top. Boundary kicking to Brown and Holland. Holland from the 16. Gets 5 yards back to the 21. Let's take a look at the Raider offense. And Jay Schrader is coming off his best season as a pro. Completion percentage up, interceptions down, and an offense that really fits what he does best. Even without Bo, this is a big play offense. Willie Gault coming off his best year, averaged an AFC best 19.7 yards a catch. The offensive line, big and physical. Former Bengal Pro Bowler Max Montoya is the veteran. He is starting his 13th year, and we have an injury on the field. Ron Brown down. And we'll check on Ron Brown's condition and be back to the Tokyo Dome in Tokyo, Japan in just a moment.
In the fall of 1987, advertisers were extremely impressed by ESPN's high ratings on national...
Intended to on the sideline, Joe.
Oh, you're watching. He's second in, moving in, number 24. Watch his right ankle. He throws the block, but then he gets it fallen on and twisted. Of course, he catches in the turf.
Schrader back to throw on first down. Plenty of time over the middle and throws low for Mervin Fernandez. Take a look at the Miami defense. The biggest strides they made last year came on defense. Up front, Jeff Cross has developed into a premier pass blocker, 11.5 sacks, or pass rusher, 11.5 sacks last year. Injuries unsettle the linebacking core, except for John Offerdahl, who made the Pro Bowl in each of his first 5 years. The secondary will have a new look. Tim McKyer literally talked his way out of town. They replace him with Vesty Jackson in a trade with the Bears. 2nd and 10 Raiders, their first possession of the ballgame. Delay. Handoff goes to Greg Bell, getting a chance to start tonight. And Bell across the 25 to about the 29-yard line.
He managed to bounce that one off his chest a few times before he got his handle on it. Greg Bell, just 47 rushes last year, 164 yards, a disappointing year. And he's one of many backs that the Raiders have. And, you have to underline many. They got a ton of them. Everyone can play.
And that's even without Bo being here. Marcus Allen, Greg Bell, Roger Craig, Nick Bell. That's just a tailback. Charles Young also in there. You have Napoleon McCallum, Steve Smith, Vance Mueller. Somebody is going to get some outstanding players off the waiver wire when it's cut down time. Raider with good throws. Out to the 34-yard line, complete to Timmy Brown, and Lewis Oliver made the tackle. It will be a first down.
That's something that we have not seen the Jay Schroeder of years past do. You watch him look up the field. As he drops back, he's studying the defense, looks up the field, doesn't see, unloads, reloads, says, okay, fine, I'll come down underneath to Tim Brown. First down. That's the consistency they need.
I know you think Mike White deserves a lot of credit for that, too.
He really does. Mike White has made a big difference in the development of Jay Schroeder. Mike White is the quarterback coach now of the Raiders.
Miller up back in the eye. Greg Bell, the deep man, and Bell on the toss. Nice cutback. Bell hit and brought down by Offerdahl as he got to the 41-yard line. The number 6 active rusher in the AFC, nearly 5,000 yards, had 2,000-yard season with the Rams, had one before that with the Bills. I mean, you've got with him the number 6 active rusher in the AFC, Marcus Allen, the number 2 active rusher, and Roger Craig, the number 5 active rusher.
Hey, you got to keep them all active. There he is.
Shame you can't have 3 tailbacks in the game at the same time. 2nd and 3 for the Raiders. Mueller out of Occidental College, loose ball. Dolphins recover.
And that is a rarity, because the one thing Tom Olivadotti, the defensive coordinator of the Dolphins, said to me, he said, we finished dead last the last 2 years in fumble recoveries. They only got 8 last year out of 28 opportunities. And here's the first one on the ground, and they managed to get it. Maybe the fortunes have changed for that Dolphin defense.
Lewis Oliver made the recovery, and Miami will take over at the Raider 44-yard line. 6 minutes, 22 seconds to go. First period of play. Glad you could join us from Tokyo, Japan. Sammy Smith, the lone setback for Marino. And he'll get the carry. Nice cut by Smith inside the 40 to about the 36-yard line. Very near a first down, but there is a flag down on the play. Tom Benson and Ronnie Lott made the tackle, and the call is holding. Dick Hantak, the referee, I was talking to him the other day. I said, it looks like you've lost weight. He said, yeah, I lost about 10 pounds.
That was just this week working the practices.
Offense, number 74, 10-yard penalty. Repeat the down. First
That's
down.
Mark Dennis, the starting right tackle.
Of course, this is a little bit of a different format for practice. These two teams have worked against one another this week, and the referees have worked each practice.
So now it's 1st and 20 back to the Dolphin 44-yard line. Marino with the delay. Smith wrapped up by Howie Long in a hurry. I asked Howie if he had already planned his broadcasting or movie career when it came time to quit, and he says, well, he's thinking about both. He likes the idea of those action movies. A couple of $1 million, go save a small country in one day and get out of it.
Yeah, you know, he's being a Raider. I was accused how he's being an actor. I made him a star in 1984 when the Raiders beat the Redskins in the Super Bowl, made Howie a star. Now he's just carried on after that.
The only active player that was with the team when it was in Oakland, so the last active link in the franchise. Marino to the shotgun with time. Throws behind, almost intercepted, and then dropped. Right in the hands of Winston Moss. The linebacker they got from Tampa Bay. And look at the smile on Marino's face. Oh, yeah.
This is just a question of the Raiders playing a zone defense, which they don't play a lot of. Dan Marino wanted to get rid of the ball quick. Winston Moss happened to be in the area where the receiver should have been. You know, I noticed something the other day. Watching that same route in practice, they had the same problem 2 days ago. They had the exact same problem, only was an incompletion then, but now this one only almost winds up being intercepted again.
3rd and 19. Both receivers went in, and Marino threw out. Flag is down. Somebody moved early. Here's a little dump off. Back to the original line of scrimmage for Aaron Craver. We'll check this penalty.
It's going to be movement by the Dolphins. One of their wide receivers started forward. That's one of the changes that have been made in rules. If it looks like somebody is initiating movement to draw the defense off, the flag's going to go right now, whether you're in a 3-point stance or a 2-point stance.
The Raiders decline this penalty. It would bring up a 4th and long situation, forcing a punt.
Legal motion. Offense, number 83. Penalty is declined. 4th down.
All the officials this year were given a chart as to what they should weigh depending on their height, and Dick Hantak said, according to the chart, I need to gain 15 pounds. He said, I don't think that's why they drew it up. Reggie Roby comes on to kick, and Tim Brown waits 10-yard line. Brown 4th in the AFC a year ago, averaging nearly 9 yards a return.
Come on, Coach.
Raiders are hoping that Tim Brown can get back to making those big, spectacular plays he did his rookie year.
Well, he was something a Notre Dame man as a rookie. Went to the Pro Bowl as a rookie as the kick return man. Has to make the fair catch there. So the Raiders will take over deep in their own territory. 4:44 to go, first quarter.
Today is a beautiful day. You have 3 beautiful children. They look like you, but
hope you'll join us for that one. The Giants, of course, have been on fire, and the Reds, not the team that won the National League pennant a year ago, but trying to stay in it. So we'll see who does what tomorrow night. John Miller and Joe Morgan, our entire ESPN crew. Bell and Mueller, the running backs behind Schrader. Mueller, who fumbled on the last carry, gets another try up across the 15 to the 16-yard line. Mike Reichenbach, formerly of the Eagles, makes the tackle.
Coaches have their agenda, so we looked into Art Shell's briefcase, and we happened to see that number 1, he wanted to keep his team healthy. Number 2, they wanted to improve the takeaway-giveaway ratio. Last year they were -2, and obviously improve the running game, not based off of what we saw here with the fumble, but the 4.1 yards, you got to remember, a lot of that came from Bo Jackson late in the season, over 800 yards rushing, so they really have to improve with the players they have early in the season.
Schrader with time. Another little dump off, this time to Fernandez, and Fernandez out to the 22-yard line. Brought down by Griggs and Reichenbach. This guy has gotten a lot of credit for what the Raiders have done in the last 2 years, and he certainly deserves it. The Raiders have always talked about family, and they went back and got somebody that was part of the foundation of this club to make him the head coach.
He understands what being a Raider is all about. And when you talk to the Raiders, this is the longest time I've had to spend around them. Even the guys like Max Montoya, who's joined them, Ronnie Lott, who's joined them, Roger Craig, they said, you know, when you're on the outside looking at the Raiders, there's something about them. But when you get on the inside, it's a special Raider family. And there's the man responsible for it, Al Davis. He's created a family, and they take care of one another. When you're a Raider, you're like nobody else. And it's funny, they don't leave.
No.
And if they do, they always seem to come back.
There are so many guys on this roster that were drafted 3 or 4 years ago, let go, signed with somebody else. They're back. They continue to give them one shot after another. I guess the feeling is once we think you can play, we always think you can play. Trey four-man rush. Schrader with time. Now under some pressure. Brought down, and that is the difference this year in the grasp and control rule. You notice no whistle blew when he was first hit.
And it's one of the changes I think that the league has made that is very positive. Even for somebody who's not necessarily a scrambler like Jay Schrader, what happens, there's the change. Grasp and control of the quarterback is to be called only when his safety is in jeopardy. Now there's Troy Aikman going back. Now you see the Eagle grabs him, and you'll notice he looks like he could still get the ball off, but he's being closed on from the other side. Now he's in jeopardy. They'll blow the whistle. Jay Schrader, on the other hand, manages to escape, get loose. No jeopardy as far as injury goes. The ball is thrown. It would allow this year to be a completion. That's the big difference. 2nd and 13. Schrader with time. Throws complete. Fernandez. Good grab. Drilled by Louis Oliver. They want Oliver going for the ball more this year, but that time he reverted to his instincts and went for Fernandez. But it's one thing to ask a defensive back to say, okay, we want you to be a ball hawk more than a hitter. But the fact is if the guy catches the ball and you can't make a play on it, see, he has no play on that ball, so he does the next best thing. He doesn't hit him, he smashes him. Oliver really trying to atone this year. He was embarrassed by the game in Buffalo last year, the playoff game where he was benched. Says one of these days he's going to be the best free safety in football. He doesn't want to come out ever. Another 1st and 10. This is Bell. They string the play out very well. Excellent play by Vesty Jackson. They got him in the deal with the Bears, trade with Eric Kumarov. And, of course, he's got to try to replace Tim McKyer on the right side. Joe, there were some aspects of McKyer the Dolphins loved. There were others that they didn't care for very much. They loved what he did on Sunday. It's like Monday through Saturday. It really got under their skin. Look at Vesty come up. Keeps his feet. Does an excellent job. Waits for the support. Tom Olivadotti, defensive coordinator. Of course, Vesty Jackson set at the right corner. J.B. Brown, the left corner, is a holdout, as are 10 other Dolphin players.
We have a personal foul on the offense, number 85. Illegal crack. 15-yard penalty. Repeat the down. 1st down.
15-yard clipping penalty assessed against the Raiders. Called it on Sam Grady when he came in motion. Evidently, he came back trying to block on Vesty Jackson. Didn't get his head in front. They wound up calling him
Lined up offside.
with a clip.
Look right down the line.
So they'll spot it all the way back at the 23-yard line.
Normally, you say as a quarterback, well, you don't need to get it all. You can take your time. You've got a couple downs, pick up chunks of it. But with this Raider offense, wouldn't be surprised if they tried to get it all.
Bell trying to get outside. Once again, the Dolphins do an excellent job of stringing it out. And David Griggs, the left outside linebacker, just wouldn't let him go anywhere. I believe that if you're the Los Angeles Raiders, their blocking scheme is not set up for lateral movement. The blocking scheme is set up for man-on-man blocking. That means that you have to hit the hole going north and south. If you start dancing side to side, this is the second time in a row we've seen it happen with Bell. You're not going to get any yardage. It doesn't play into what the Raiders do. Spot the ball at the 22, 2nd and 27, under a minute to go, 1st quarter. Fernandez, Dalton, Brown, and James wide receiver. Schrader under pressure, screen pass. Nick Bell, the rookie out of Iowa. This guy is a load across the 40. 6'2", 255 for a running back, and he can run. Well, you learn this in Pop Warner football. This is a simple middle screen. Quarterback drops back, sets, draws the defense to him, dumps it to the man right in the middle, and then when Nick Bell gets this, look at this. Look at this. Ouch. Ouch. Gee, Mervin's saying, wait a second, I'm with you. We've got a timeout on the field. 27 seconds to go. The Dolphins continue to lead the Raiders.
Somewhere.
Games in this continent. At Green Bay, for example, the Magic Man was back. Packers hosting the Patriots, and he can move. He can escape tacklers. And yes, he can fire them. The Magic Man threw for 2 touchdowns, including this one to Eric Affolter. 8 of 10. Packers win 28-7. Now back to 2 more Magic Men, Mike and Joe.
Thank you, Chris. We have 27 seconds left to go in the first quarter. The injured player on the last play, E.J. Jr. for the Dolphins. He walked off under his own power. And it's 3rd and 7 for the Raiders at their own 42. Schrader goes deep. Goal! Made the catch against Bestie Jackson. What a grab. But there is a flag down. And they'll bring it back.
Watching Jay Schrader work during the course of the week, and the penalty's a problem for Art Shell, but watch Jay Schrader. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Set, shuffle, and fire. That's the kind of rhythm that Mike White has tried to get him to do. Now, he puts this ball absolutely perfectly over the outside, making sure that Willie Gault has a chance at it. One of the biggest complaints is that he continued to underthrow the speed receivers, Gault, Brown, and Fernandez. Big improvement from Schrader so far this year.
Boy, and a nice catch from Willie Gault, too. So the holding penalty will back it up to the 32-yard line. E.J. Jr., we are told, had a jammed neck, will probably return in this game. That's the end of the first quarter from Tokyo. And the Dolphins have had the ball once and scored. And the Raiders still scoreless, 3-0 at the end of the period.
More and more men all over America
Trying to build on what they did last year and that improvement.
They really are. I mean, they want to be a more physical ball club. They're shutting down the running game, pursuing to the ball. I think Tom's got both Coach Shula and Tom Alvadati, their coordinator, have to be very happy with what they've accomplished so far.
In your opinion, Bestie Jackson a good addition to the secondary?
I think he's a very good addition. I think he's going to help them a lot. He's going to give them stability back there, another veteran. I don't necessarily think that maybe he's as good a cover man as Tim McIyer, because I think McIyer is one of the best. But he certainly is going to give them what they need as far as stability goes at that corner.
3rd and 17 for Schrader under pressure. Got away, got a great block, got another great block, and Schrader got all out of that when he could. And once again, the in-the-grass rule came into effect on that play, and I think this is why they instituted that change.
And it's good. I think, you know, if a quarterback has the athletic ability to escape, you should allow him to be a part of the game and let him go. He drops back, moves around.
Oglesby had him and couldn't hold him.
Not really being threatened. Good decision by the officials. You got to give the officials credit, too, because it's just their determination. Now we get to see these quarterbacks as athletes. I think it's great.
Spoken like a true ex-quarterback. Scott Miller is back. Receives the punch of Jeff Gossett.
He used to break all the time. At least 6 years in the game.
Gossett, not his best kick. Miller hustling up to take it on the run and does across the 30, 40, 45. There is a flag down. Gossett did not have the greatest average a year ago, less than 39 yards a kick, but he only had 153 return yards against him the entire season. We'll check out the flag for you. And it will be a hold against Miami.
What was the number, Jim? The number. 25.
We do not have instant replay this week, by the way.
Holding. Offense. Number 25. Holding occurred prior to possession change. We penalized 10 yards from the spot where the punt was caught. First down.
Call goes against Lewis Oliver. Hope you'll be with us tomorrow night. Sunday Night Baseball, a battle from the National League West. San Francisco Giants will take on the Cincinnati Reds. John Miller and Joe Morgan, 8 o'clock Eastern. Hope you'll be there for that one on our exclusive Sunday night coverage. Sammy Smith and Tony Page in the Dolphin backfield behind Marino. Cooper continues the wide receiver. Smith. Across the 25 to the 26.
While the Raiders were punting, Art Shell went over and had a little conversation with his offensive lineman. Now, if there's one position that you don't want to mess up on the Raiders, because he's the man that's played it, he knows what it takes, and he can tell you exactly what you should do, and he did. And that's Kim Helton, his new offensive line coach, who Art interviewed 3 or 4 men until he found the man he wanted to handle that offensive line. Feels real comfortable with Kim. Of course, he's always going to offer a little bit of helpful conversation.
If any of those linemen have a question, Art can just hold up his Hall of Fame plaque. Smith. Brought down by Ricky Ellison, the middle linebacker, longtime 49er. Second leading tackler on the team a year ago with 82.
Good throw today, baby.
Third down, 2 yards. Both teams making multiple substitutions. Smith comes out of the ball game, and Craver, number 34, the rookie out of Fresno State, is in. The junior college All-American, even though he had no high school experience. And he'll get it on the delay out of the shotgun. Whistle stops the play.
Yeah, but you know what he used to do? Which is even when he was a young kid, he used to just take a football, throw it up in the air, and catch it. Now, I really think that anybody that wants to be a receiver...
Start. Offense. Right guard. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
Anybody that wants to be a receiver should pick up a ball and just get used to handling it. This guy here is, didn't really have any formal training. He got used to handling a football.
Wanted to play quarterback in high school, doesn't everybody?
Sure.
And the coach wouldn't let him, so he quit. Didn't play at all, ran track instead. 3rd and 8. Marino, deep sideline pass, incomplete. In and out of the hands of Tony Martin. Torrin Dorn was back there with him. Good throw by Marino.
Great throw by Marino. Great play by Dorn. Tony Martin, a converted quarterback, still learning how to concentrate on the ball. This is the one thing he told me. Now, he's got that ball up there. He can't get it in his hands. You don't think Dan Marino's into this? Gee. Come on, catch the ball. I can't throw it any better. And you're right. Besides that, he knows he was coming out of the game probably after that series.
Roby with a sky-high punt. Napoleon McCallum backs up to his 24. The former Navy great. Got him in a trade from San Diego up across the 30 to the 33. There's another flag down. Emmanuel King down on special teams. A busy first half for Dick Hantak and his crew.
Illegal block in the back by the returning team. Number 52. 10-yard penalty. Dead ball spot.
We've got a timeout with 12-12 to go second quarter. Dolphins continue to lead the Raiders 3-0.
Today is your kind of day. You're going places.
Special. The 1991 American Bowl is brought to you by McDonald's. Getting more for your money. That's McDonald's today. By Acura Automobiles. Experience precision-crafted performance. And by First Brands Corporation, makers of STP oil treatment. Raiders take over at their own 23-yard line. 1st and 10, trailing the Dolphins 3-0.
Now you just get the feeling that they want to put one up deep. You sort of look at a formation, get a sense of the game, you say, this is one where they want to put it up. And they don't.
Dan Spielberg,
Obviously,
James Seagard. You're not in preseason predicting form, are you?
My feelings are in preseason form. I'm still working on it.
David Griggs on the tackle.
One guy that's really, I have begun to talk about him, but Jay Schrader's just made some great improvements. You see in this game, he's 4 for 5. And look at the big thing you have to look at is the interceptions that he's cut down on. 13 touchdowns in 88, 6 in 89. Of course, he split time with Berline then. Last year, he really emerged as the starter. The big difference, too, is completion percentage, almost 55%.
In this offense where it's not as easy to complete a lot of passes. Schrader with some touch on this one. Incomplete, just out of the reach of Andrew Glover, the rookie tight end from Grambling.
He's going to want that one back. He had Glover wide open, got a flag down on the play. May get another chance at it. But, you know, that's the kind of plays you have to make. And those are the opportunities, and that's what Al Davis is looking at. He wants guys to make plays.
Holding. Defense. Number 58. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Barry Krause, the linebacker, called for holding.
Release from the line of scrimmage. Number 58, Rickenback. Oh, well, that's why the ball was overthrown by just a step or so. Obviously, if you get held up at the gates, you can't get to the ball.
Third and 8 for the Raiders. Bell. Flag is down. This ball got to the 31-yard line. All these flags are coming down with the first units on for both balls.
Defense, we got holding on 60. 10 yards, guys.
ESPN's coverage of the NFL will continue on Saturday, the 17th of August, 8 o'clock Eastern, the Battle of New York. The Jets against the defending Super Bowl champion Giants, Al Toon and Lawrence Taylor. Just a couple of the stars who will be there.
LT forced to hang up his driver, which I know is not sitting very well with him.
It's tough when the season interferes with your hobby.
I mean, really it is. I think he looks at football now as an inconvenience to not get... All it does is raise his handicap.
And his bank account. Bell again trying to cut back, and Alfred Oglesby has had a fine opening half here.
It's the same thing. The Raiders, I'm going to go out on a limb here. Al Davis and Art Shell may not really care for this, but the Raiders do not have the scheme to run laterally. They're a better football team when they get their people one-on-one. They're man-blocking schemes. And when you stand somebody up at the line of scrimmage, you have to go by them. You can't go around them. That's why they can't run the ball laterally effectively.
2nd and 20 now. The Raiders have it at their own 20. 3-man rush. Schrader near side. Brown couldn't dig it out. Magruder on the coverage, and Brown went down to his shoe tops, got his hands on it, but couldn't hold it. Magruder, a free agent out of Kent State in his second year, played in only one game last year, hurt his shoulder and is out. He's in the starting lineup right now because J.B. Brown is not under contract. 10 of the Dolphins are not under contract, and Don Shula is starting to get very concerned about it.
And he should. Last year, just as an indicator, they had almost everybody in camp had a good preseason, started the season. They were 8-1. In the years before that, when they didn't have people in camp, they didn't start well. They opened with Buffalo. You better hope they better start well.
That was 10 out of 45 on an opening day roster. Another screen. Bell couldn't hold this one. That's Nick Bell, the rookie from Iowa, their second-round draft choice. A lot of people surprised that he lasted until the second round. You don't find too many 255-pound tailbacks.
Not that run like he does. You're absolutely right. But then, you know, what happens is somebody gets a knock, they get a rep. They questioned whether or not he'd be able to comprehend some offenses. That was one of the big questions, so he stayed around. The Raiders felt very comfortable with what he could do. He adds another one of the dimensions that they look for, the big, fast back.
Gossett to kick to Scott Miller, the rookie out of UCLA, their 9th-round draft choice. 10:09 to go first. Miller from the 44. Got a couple of nice blocks across midfield. Stayed in bounds to the 45-yard line. Nice return by Scott Miller. And the Dolphins will take over in Raider territory. We'll be back in a moment.
In the fall of 1987, advertisers were extremely impressed by ESPN's high ratings on
Rich Kotite, a man that Randall Cunningham liked very much, offensive coordinator and a head coach. Kotite liked Randall to, let me tell you about Kent Jackson. 2-minute warning now in that game. The Eagles lead the Jets 24-10. Let's go back to Tokyo.
44-10.
It was 44-10.
That's what I heard.
Holy
Thank you,
mackerel,
Chris.
You weren't kidding.
9:56 to go in our game here in Tokyo. Dolphins lead at 3-0 and have the ball at the Raider 44-yard line. Marino's night is done. 5 out of 9, 81 yards. And in his place, out of Utah, Scott Mitchell, number. We are told that it is 24-10. That's a 7,000-mile phone call, isn't
You
it?
just got to yell louder, that's all.
391. Mitchell hands off to Craver.
The best way to make a ball club if you're a rookie is to make it on special teams. Now, Dennis Johnson, number 29 of the Raiders, is out on a wing covering punts. Now, he splits them, gets knocked out of bounds by Oliver, gets up, manages to come back in and force Miller out of bounds. Now, there's a kid that really wants to make this ball club. He should have a smile on his face. Did a heck of a job. That's not easy.
2nd and 5. Mitchell has Craver as the only setback behind him.
547. 546. 546.
Mitchell trying to win the second string job. Holt lost the ball straight up in the air and it's intercepted. Picked off by Derek Crudup. The pass hit Leroy Holt right in the chest, and it was like a hot potato. He just started batting it up in the air.
Well, we saw Sammy Smith drop one down around the goal line earlier. Now Holt has this one bounce in between the 3 and the 8 and wind up in a Raiders' hand. Miller does a good job, reads it right on the numbers. You just can't let the ball get to your body. You can't let it happen.
Certainly not Mitchell's fault. He had a tough opening game against the Bears, 6 out of 18.
See, here's a kid who's been a blocking fullback. He comes here. One of the things you have to learn to do as a pro is catch the ball. Even if it's 8-10 times a year, you got to catch the football.
Great for the Raiders. They take over at the 48-yard line. Roger Craig into the game for the first time across midfield. Funny seeing him wear 22 instead of 33.
And it's done with a purpose. He did not want to wear 33. 33 only reminded him of being a San Francisco 49er. He did not want any memories. He went back to his old college number 22, grew a beard most of this week, grew a beard for the Niners because he didn't want them to look at the same guy. Totally tried to separate himself from the identity of the San Francisco 49ers.
Injured for the first time in his career a year ago. The numbers were the worst, and he hopes to make a comeback here in Raider black and silver. Get another carry. More of that straight-ahead running style instead of when Bell was in there trying to cut him outside.
Al Davis with the glasses on. Just has a way of finding people who have had championship experience. I mean, where would you figure that both Lott and Craig, two guys that were a part of Super Bowl, a big part of the Super Bowl championships of 49ers, winds up on the same ball club, expected both to contribute.
He started recycling before it was popular. 3rd and 4. Nick Bell, the single setback at 255 pounds, wrapped up short of the first down. Nice job by David Griggs, who's been very active in this first half, along with Oglesby on the left side. And it'll be a kicking situation.
I talked about the philosophy. You see how Montoya and Wright come off? They stand up the Dolphins. What you need is that bag to get to the line quicker, get through the crack, while your offensive linemen are shielding the defensive linemen. Miami's doing an excellent job of getting rid of those blockers and making the play.
Gossett's a punt to Miller with 6 minutes and 52 seconds to go in the half. Miller's already had 2 good punt returns. trying to chase this one down. And Coffin, corner kick out of bounds at the 5. We'll check a penalty flag, which is down. Nice job there by Gossett. Illegal man downfield. They'll have to do it again. I'm sure the Dolphins are not going to take the ball at their own 5-yard line.
Jeff Gossett has his little son Jared at home. Saw him for like a half a day. Left for camp July 18th. Was gone. Looking forward to getting back.
Ineligible player on the offense, number 58, beyond the line of scrimmage prior to the kick. 5-yard penalty. Repeat the down. 4th down.
Coming up after our game, 1 o'clock. Baseball tonight with John Saunders, and then the 1991 Calgary Stampede at 2 a.m. Sports Center with Ann Montgomery and Jack Edwards. You get up anytime, and we're there.
We're there. We're there to help you. You want to know something about sports? Call us. Dial in ESPN. We can take care of it for you.
4th and 8. They'll punt again. Once again, Gossett going for the sideline, and not nearly with as good a result this time. Ball bounces out of bounds near the 25-yard line. And with 6:35 to go in the first half, the Dolphins continue to lead by 3-0. There from his box, NFL Commissioner Paul Tagliabue joined us this week.
Actually joined a lot. He was over in Europe last week.
Getting all his frequent flyer miles.
Getting all his money. This is International Week in the NFL, and the commissioners everywhere.
And ever expanding, it seems. Mitchell, nice play action fake, roll out. And throws incomplete through the hands of Tony Martin, the converted college quarterback. Could have held that one. So Mitchell is 0 for 2 with an interception. He's thrown both on the money.
Well, you know, you got Duper and Clayton, and then Tony Martins was counted on quite heavily as their third receiver with Randall Hill holding out. And you're still asking a guy who spent his life being a running quarterback, a throwing quarterback, learning a new position. I mean, Tony Martin is one of the fastest men on the Miami team, but he still is very, very green when it comes to catching the football, and we're seeing that tonight.
2nd and 10. Martin is the man in motion. They'll keep it on the ground. Craver across the 30. Roy Hart, first team all WLAF, made the tackle. Had the nickname Heart Attack, but he says you got to earn a new nickname in the NFL as opposed to the WLAF. And there are the numbers on Craver. All he lacks is experience to be an outstanding player. They spent their 3rd-round draft choice on 3rd and 5. Craver and Holt, number 38, are the backs. Flag is down. So is Mitchell. That looked like one of those old Kenny Stabler moves. Just throw it away as everybody gets there.
Learning well, lefty. I think it's just one of those lefty moves.
Check the flag as Howie Long saying something to someone.
All these penalties, if there's one thing that upsets a coach more than anything in preseason, it's penalties, because normally they're mental mistakes. They can deal with a physical mistake. If you miss a block, if a guy beats you, if you drop a ball, you can work on those things. The toughest thing for players and coaches to get down right is penalties. Just don't do them, especially Coach Schuler.
Offside. Defense. Number 48 was lined up in the neutral zone prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 3rd down.
Lionel Washington, a cornerback.
The defense, see how he's always looking for an opportunity to visit. There he was, just telling Scott Mitchell, listen, you know, I got you this time. I'm only around for a little while. Just wanted to say hello. How's things going? How things in Miami? I'll see you later.
It looked like Mitchell was laughing.
I'll be back.
He always comes back.
You don't see a lot of conversation. There are a few guys in the league that talk, but not many.
3rd and 5 for the Dolphins. Now make it 3rd and inches after the penalty. Jensen in the game, in motion. Craver dives, turned back. He might not have made it. Nice defensive play. Crudup coming up from the secondary. The young man who made the interception earlier got the big hit in there that time.
All you have to do is look and see if the Raiders get under the Dolphins, you know there's not going to be an opportunity or a hole to go through, and there wasn't one. Big play by Crudup there. Crudup coming up and finishing it off. I think he's short. I'm going to go out on a preseason limb here, Mike. I think he's short.
Well, you're 0 for 1. I hope you get this one. First down. You're 0 for 2.
Just by a little. But it was just really a little.
You're perfect.
Just really a little.
Both teams have committed 5 penalties in this game so far. 5 for 50 yards against the Raiders, 5 for 30 against the Dolphins, and that last penalty instrumental in that first down. 1st and 10 from the 36, 5:12 to go first half. Scott Mitchell, the Miami quarterback. Craver carries to about the 40-yard line.
Miami really working hard on establishing the things that people look at from a physical standpoint as a ball club. Running the football is a physical thing. You have to be able to physically run the ball. Defense of stopping the run is a physical thing. And these are 2 areas that the Dolphins are really concentrating on, and we can see it here in this game tonight.
2nd and 6. Split Craver and Holt this time. Mitchell under a lot of pressure, got out of it somehow, got out again, and dives to the 46-yard line right under Roy Hart, who was trying to take him apart. Good mobility on the part of Mitchell.
He's a big guy, 6'6", 236 pounds, moved around real well. 4th-round pick. Number 61 from the defensive tackle spot. Roy Hart comes in, flushes him out of the pocket, manages to dance around a little bit, evade the pursuit, and pick up almost a first down.
3rd and less than a yard. And the Raiders want a timeout with 3:34 to go in the half. We'll come back and see how the Dolphins do on 3rd and short right after we listen to this.
I see skies of blue and clouds of white.
In New York City, they call it Wall Street. In Tokyo, it's Kabuto-cho, the Tokyo Stock Exchange, where the Japanese partake in the daily trading of stocks, bonds, and commodities. In case you were wondering, buying and selling is pursued with the same vigor here as it is in the States. And Calvin Coolidge's advice works over here, too. Buy low, sell high. If it doesn't go up, don't buy it. Dolphins 3rd and inches from their own 46. Page cuts it outside, now cuts it back, and he didn't get the first down. Tim Cofield made the stop.
I'm going to go out on a limb. I don't think he did.
You don't get a shot at this one, no.
Okay, I thought I'd try. Good penetration by that Raider defense. They've been... The one time... This is one thing you really can't practice. You can't practice short yardage because you can't get the intensity of it. You have to see it happen in a game. And here we see the Raiders coming up big in short yardage.
4th and 1, and Roby will punt to Tim Brown, waiting at his 15-yard line. Roby with that flat-footed style, very high on this one. Brown has to signal fair catch, makes it to 22. What are the Dolphins looking for in preseason, Joe? What are they trying to get better at?
Well, I don't know. You know, Art Shell had his briefcase. If I popped Don Shula's open, I might find, holy mackerel, look at that. I managed to get his. They need to create more turnovers. I talked about the fact they only had 8 fumble recoveries last year, lowest in the league. They want to continue that balance. We've seen it here tonight, running the ball as well as counting on Dan to throw. And we've emphasized it as the coaches have emphasized to us. They have to get more physical. They can't allow teams like the Redskins and the Giants and the Raiders and Buffalo to run the ball and control the game for darn near 38 minutes every time they play. Their 4 losses was a total average almost 38 minutes in control by the offense.
Roger Craig on the sweep. Bumps off one tackler. Langford takes him out of bounds after he was initially hit by Jarvis Williams. There's the flag down on this play.
The Raiders have added some plays for Roger Craig. They studied what he did well in San Francisco. They've added a few things. The outside run is one. That's not something you necessarily see from a Raider back. A lot of times it's an I-back formation, but they want to give him a chance to do the things he did well.
You told me something interesting about him earlier this week at practice, that he has changed.
Holding. Offense. Number 67, 10-yard penalty. Repeat the down. First down.
That's Dan Turk, the center. That Roger Craig has changed the way he trains. He was always one of the hardest training athletes there was.
Still is, but the difference is he's training more towards a football style. Used to run a lot of distance, run miles, 10, 12, 15 miles. Now he still runs the inclines. He still runs for wind, but now he trains in short bursts. He's added 15 pounds. He played last year at 205. He's now playing around 220, and I think it was a mistake letting him go. I think the Niners are going to miss what he could have given them.
1st and 20 after the penalty. Play action. Schrader getting a lot of work here in this first half. Short, almost picked off. Offerdahl got his hands on it, couldn't hold it. And Schrader did throw that one into a crowd.
Both Marino and Schrader having them bounce off the defender's hands. You got to have the good luck early. Good omen.
Offerdahl smiling, looks down at his hands.
They're still there. Little play action fake, set. Wait for the man to run the hook. Fire it. You just really hope that the defender is going to get out of the way quicker. He could only wait so long. Made a decision, got lucky.
2nd and 20 now for Schrader. Roger Craig waving his arms. He was wide open. They throw to Tim Brown instead, incomplete. Roger Craig came out of the backfield near sideline and was nearly frantically waving his arms on that play.
You know, receivers will do that, and instinctively, you say, well, I got to go someplace with the football. Tim Brown runs the curl. Roger Craig, you see him underneath. This is a bad read by Jay Schrader. A lot of people around Tim Brown. You see all the defenders close. That's a case where he could have come down, dumped it off, let Roger pick up 8, 10 yards, and then you wind up with 3rd and 12 instead of 3rd and 20.
Schrader, 4 out of 9, 49 yards. We're down to 2 minutes and 8 seconds to go in the half. 3rd and 20. Good protection for Schrader, deep over the middle. Almost picked off. Intended for Fernandez, but Louis Oliver was playing center field. And I guess you'd have to turn that another ill-advised throw.
Well, yeah. The only way to look at it is if you're going to throw the ball up the field, the best place to throw it is towards the sidelines a little bit more. That time he threw it towards the middle of the field, almost paid the price.
2-minute warning, still 3-0. Dolphins over the Raiders.
You never know when you'll need to investigate rental car rates. When relatives come to town.
And highlights from the National Football League, and Joe will be back with a first half recap and owning up to be an 0-2 in his preseason prediction.
It's early. It's early. Don't worry. I'll have lots of opportunities.
Yes, you will.
It's hard to improve on prediction. Last year, I think I had a flawless year. Tough.
Gossett has to drop back into his end zone. Miller waiting at the Miami 45. Pretty kick this time. Miller at his own 42. Got a couple of good blocks, got to the corner again. And Miller has done a nice job as a kick returner, this time to the Raider 46-yard line. Young man out of UCLA trying to earn a job as a wide receiver and a kick return man.
They like him a lot as a kick returner. You saw him return the last one to the left side of the field. And Dennis Johnson was on the cover. Now here's Dennis Johnson again. He gets another chance. Glenn runs him. He said, listen, you got back in last time? Not this time. I'm going to put you in with the photographers. Now try and come back out. And that's the side that Miller made the move on. That's how important that wingman is. Look at that. Look at these guys. They're injured. You don't think being a cameraman's tough?
Miller had that one tipped at the line of scrimmage, but it's complete to Martin, and there is a flag down as the ball goes to the 36-yard line. Scott Mitchell had that one apparently tipped by a lineman. The holding call will be defensive against the Raiders. Miami desperately needing somebody else to step up as a wide receiver. That's why they're so disappointed that Randall Hill, their top draft choice, is not in camp.
Big mistake. Randall Hill did not have the opportunity to work against the Raiders this week.
Holding. Defense, number 99. 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Winston Moss.
I wouldn't level blame on management agents. You know, they work out their differences. Randall Hill is the young man who's going to suffer a lot. This 1 week would have been the biggest week of his career because he'd had a chance to work against a team that specializes in one-on-one coverage against tough corners in practice because they worked against the Raiders. You know, it's a lost week. He'll never get it back.
Craver takes the ball inside the 40 to about the 38-yard line. Crudup made the tackle along with Mike Charles. Charles, who's been with Miami, San Diego, Tampa Bay, trying to earn a spot along the defensive line. Got a timeout with 1:32 to go in the half. Well, it started like we were going to have an awful lot of offense in this ball game, and it hasn't happened since then. It's 3-0. 2 weeks, we will be in New York for the Jets and the Giants, 8 o'clock Eastern. Hope you'll join us for that one. The Giants, of course, trying to overcome the coaching change.
Two of them. Coach Belichick goes to Cleveland. Coach Parcells goes to the booth.
And the Jets just trying to dig themselves out of, all the problems they've had for the last few years and trying to get better.
Of course, the Giants, embroiled in a little bit of a quarterback controversy. Is it going to be Jeff? Is it going to be Phil? Have to wait till September, almost to see that one.
Dolphins trying to get something on the board in the closing minute and a half of the second quarter. Mitchell has the 2nd and 7 at the Raider 37. Jumps it quickly to Martin, complete to the 22-yard line, just tripped up by Crudup. There's an ankle.
There's one Tony Martin needed. This is what Coach Shula is watching now. He wants to see how Scott Mitchell controls the game. Coaches aren't sending in the plays now. He's in charge. How does he handle it?
And Mitchell trying to win the backup quarterback job from Seafuels. And there's movement there's a mistake by Richmond Webb. You might want to take a nice videotape of that and save it because he doesn't make many.
You won't see many. He's, not only did he make the Pro Bowl last year, they consider him the next Anthony Munoz.
Ball start. Offense, number 78, 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
That in itself is a great compliment. When you're talked about in the same terms as Anthony Munoz, he's been the premier offensive lineman for years in the league, and they're talking about Richmond Webb in that same context. His ability, his quickness, his feet, his work ethics, all pro right now with nothing but getting better ahead of him.
And right beside him, Keith Sims, the other rookie last year. Boy, did they solidify that line. 1st and 15 now for the Dolphins. Brown in motion. Craver. Second effort got him down to the 27-yard line. Greg Townsend in on the stop. Clock continues to run, 52 seconds. Second and about 12. That one was also tipped, but Craver makes the catch. Gets it down to the 22-yard line, and now the Dolphins will stop the clock with 36 seconds left.
Nice catch, too. That ball was not in front of him. It was thrown hard behind him, goes up. Wasn't concerned about anything but catching the ball. first thing you got to do is catch the ball. Then if you can get some yards after it, that's fine. But he did the right thing. He caught the ball.
Last year, the two leading sack artists in the National Football League were Kansas City's Derek Thomas, who had 20, and Buffalo's Bruce Smith, who had 19. But when they came up against Miami rookie Richmond Webb, Derek Thomas came up empty in the sack department. Bruce Smith was shut out in 3 appearances. And Richmond Webb became the only tackle in NFL history to gain Pro Bowl honors in his rookie year, and only the second offensive lineman at any position to go to the Pro Bowl as a rookie. That is really an incredible accomplishment on his part.
And 2 statistics stand out even more than that ability to me. Is number 1, he missed no snaps in a game and no snaps in practice. You get good from Monday to Saturday. You have a chance to prove it on Sunday.
3rd and 10, 36 seconds to go in the half. Miami trying to add to a 3-0 lead. Mitchell under pressure, goes down this time. Nolan Harrison, the rookie out of Indiana. 6th-round draft choice who had to sit out his senior year for disciplinary action with the Hoosiers, in on the tackle. Boy, he just spun Mitchell down in a hurry. And Mitchell's a big kid.
Left side of your screen, you'll see the move. He starts in, makes the move. Now he takes the hard turn around the corner. The Dolphin offensive right side just wasn't ready for the quickness in the move. There you go. Eat some turf. They have no respect. You know, that's one thing I remember. When they get sacked, it's like you're a bag of potatoes they just threw down, and if they can step on you, they will.
Well, to these guys who are 6'5" and 290, you're a small bag of potatoes.
Yeah, that's right. And I was a tiny bag.
If you're on the East Coast and expecting to see Sports Center, we are bringing you preseason football from Tokyo. And Sports Center, of course, will follow at about 2 o'clock in the morning. Charlie Bauman is on to try a 49-yard field goal attempt. Got the distance, and it's good. Bauman has done all the scoring for the Miami Dolphins here in the first half, and they lead it 6-0. Boy, Bauman's one of those guys. Kickers find themselves in such terrible spots. Stoyanovich had a wonderful year last year. Had a 58 and a 59-yard field goal, and Bauman is in here trying to win a job, but as long as Stoyanovich holds out, he does have a shot.
Well, the thing that happens is maybe you don't win a job with the Dolphins. Maybe Stoyanovich comes in, you don't win the job. But the fact is, there are 27 other teams out there that are going to look at this film. We saw how many kickers last year wound up on Plan B. I think the total was punters and kickers 44, some absurd number. So, you know, here's a guy who shows well in a pressure situation, did a nice job at the end of the half. He may not be in the aqua and white. He may be in another uniform, but he's out trying to make a football team.
Well, making 49-yard field goals with plenty to spare gives you a leg up. Grady and Holland, tons of speed for the Raiders, as always. Al Davis has always believed luck followed speed, and in a hurry, they're back to receive this kickoff from Bauman with 24 seconds to go in the half. Last drive, 6 plays, 38 yards. Good kick, and Grady from the goal line. Nice cut. Got to the sideline, forced out of bounds as he crossed the 20-yard line. There is another flag down. Stevan Moore forced him out of bounds.
I think he's going to get nailed with a little bit of face mask here.
We have a face mask against the kicking team. Number 27, 5-yard penalty.
He caught him. He just managed to, he just caught him. He just managed to catch his face as he caught up to him. Nice move by there it is right there. Inadvertent. You still get your hand on it. They're still going to call it.
And just because they call it inadvertent doesn't make your neck feel any better. Your neck doesn't know the difference. 17 seconds to go in the half.
You know, as a quarterback, you're thinking, how far do I have to get? You figure the Dolphins are going to give me some space. They're going to give me some room. But, heck, it's only 6 points, so why not try and just sit on the ball, go in at halftime, and start over?
And that's exactly what Jay Schroeder does. The first unit's still in there for the Raiders, but all the first unit does is kill the clock. And even the exceptionally polite Japanese crowd wasn't real fond of that one.
They're understanding this game very well.
That's the end of the first half. The Dolphins have scored on 2 field goals and lead the Raiders 6-0. Right now, we want to go back to the United States and join Chris Berman. As we started this game at 11 o'clock in the morning, Tokyo time, Mike Patrick and Joe Theismann with you. Jad, glad you could join us from Tokyo, Japan. 6-0 Miami Dolphins at the end of the first half. And your impressions of the first half?
Sloppy. Both teams look very sloppy. I think particularly the Raiders have to be disappointed in what they've seen. They've not moved well as a cohesive unit. Way too many penalties on both sides. The Dolphin defense seems to be picking up where they left off last year, playing very well, stuffing the Raider run. But overall, I'd say the first half was just very sloppy. Both coaches have to be disappointed.
All right, we've got some highlights to show you from the first half of what a typical exhibition game is going to show you.
Well, there's an agenda, there's a purpose for exhibition games, and Dan Marino comes into this game saying, I just want to refresh my memory. I want to clean things up. I want to get back into rhythm with Super Duper. Here he hits Mark Duper down the sideline for a big gain in the first quarter. It's an opportunity to brush it up. Dennis Johnson, a 12th round pick, trying to make the ball club on the special teams, manages to split the blocks on a punt return, gets knocked out of bounds by Louis Oliver, jumps up, makes the tackle on Miller, runs him out of the bounds. That's the way you impress a coach. Now, Jay Schroeder, on the other hand, is working on his passing game. Here's a deep one down the right sidelines to Mervin Fernandez. Not where it should be. The ball should be outside more. Louis Oliver almost making the play, something Jay and Merv are going to continue to have to work on. And, of course, when you take a guy like Nick Bell and you say, well, geez, what do I really have besides somebody this big and this strong? You know, here's a reason why he was considered one of the top 10 backs, although he did go in the second round. Just a big horse, a big load to bring down. Now, we saw Dennis Johnson before make the move. Kerry Glenn says, listen, you think you're a pretty good special teamer? I'm not going to give you a chance to come back this time. Go over and visit with the photographers. And that's what he did. And that's a little bit of what we saw in the first half. And these are the things that coaches will be looking at as they analyze the films after this ballgame.
One thing that we saw early in the first half, early in the second quarter, was Art Shell going over and ripping his offensive line. None too pleased with the way the running game was going. Here are the stats from the first half. And the Dolphins with 101 yards passing to only 49 for the Raiders, who started very strongly. Neither team has done very much on the ground, 36 and 37 yards. But I think, Joe, as you said, the biggest thing in that first half was penalties. 7 on each team, 110 yards in total penalty yardage. It's very tough to develop any kind of a rhythm when the game is stopped.
Well, not only that, Mike, but penalties are mental errors, and those are things that coaches really try and avoid. If you make a physical mistake, that's something they can live with. They don't like it, but they can live with it. It's the mental errors that bother them. That's all penalties are.
Dolphins kick off to start the second half. Sam Grady from the 6 pinned at the sideline and stepped out of bounds near the 10-yard line. There is another mental error by Grady, not being all that aware as to where he was on the football.
Sam thinking he's playing a Canadian football. I mean, he might as well. Enough of the Raiders have been up there and come back. Fields the ball towards the right sideline, starts to make the turn. His momentum, there's his right foot. His momentum just carried him out. Well, you can see Sam Grady has come to the Raiders this year with a whole new intensity. Moved his family into the Los Angeles area so he could train year-round, put on 5 pounds. You know he has the world-class speed. Silver medal in the 100 meters in the Olympics. Part of the gold medal 400-meter team. Knows he has the speed. He wanted to add some bulk.
There's the oldest man on the Raider roster at 36. Vince Evans will open the second quarterback. Roger Craig gets the first carry. Nice cut back into the middle. And that looks more like the Roger Craig of old with that high leg step.
You made a very interesting observation, Mike. We were talking about Roger, and you said, you know, last year he just didn't break tackles. I think that had to do with the fact that he played at 205. He's carrying 15 more pounds now. He's a little bit more of a load. The knees are still there to hurt you and be a problem. But I think the fact that he couldn't break the tackles may have led the 49ers to think that they couldn't use him anymore.
Well, the 49ers, we understand, in their preseason game, they had an anemic rushing game. Craig again. Not much room there. Fight forward near the 20-yard line, stopped by the middle of the Dolphin defensive line.
Yeah, but that's the way the Raiders have to run the football.
Yeah.
You know, straight ahead, create a hole, give me a seam, and I'll go pick up a few yards. Roger Craig was not happy being released by the 49ers. Came as a total shock and surprise to him. Had a meeting 2 days after the season ended with Coach Seifert, and he really believes that if he had not fumbled against the Giants, he still would have been a San Francisco 49er. And you know something? I tend to agree with you.
That was a huge moment, all right. 3rd and a yard. Craig, the deep man in the eye. He'll get the carry. Takes it outside. 1st down and more. Roger Craig behind a good block from Napoleon McCallum, who was making the adjustment to the fullback spot. Bobby Harden, number 45, made the tackle for Miami. 12th round draft choice a year ago.
Roger Craig working out of the eye, gets a good look at the line. You see his intensity, slides it outside. Now he cuts it up the field, makes a decision and goes with it. Of course, you can't run alone outside when you got a fullback, number 41, Napoleon McCallum. Big blow on Paul Lansford. Really laid it into him.
Evans straight back in the pocket. Guns at that time, complete up at the 43-yard line to Tim Brown.
Vince Evans. I mean, he just keeps going on and on and on. 12th year in the league. Looks as good. I think he looks as good today as he did when he came into the league. He's got the same kind of zip, same kind of bounce in his step. Great athlete. As everybody talks about Randall Cunningham's athletic ability, and he is an exceptional one. But Vince is the kind of guy who really set the trend for athletes at the quarterback position. You know, the first 4 years in the league, he didn't even use the laces to throw the ball. And he threw it so well, no coach would make a change.
Scrambles this time, trying to get away from E.J. Jr. Has the 1st down. Now, of course, he is in a battle. A flag is down, and I think that's going to be a clip and bring this play back. And now we've got some players pushing and shoving.
You know, these two...
It was an unnecessary clip, too.
It really was. And these two teams have been at each other all week, and they've had really no problems. And, you know, you don't want to get carried away, but...
See if Barry Krause was the guy that was clipped, because he spent all of last year on the sideline with a knee injury. It's the last thing he wants.
And Andrew Glover's going down low. Yeah, he's a rookie trying to make the ball club, trying to throw a little bit of extra effort in there.
Well, he made Barry Krause's list right there. I know that.
Yeah, he's number 1 on the hit parade right now. Vince Evans brings up an interesting situation for the Raiders. They invested in number 1 in Marinovich. They've got Berline, who was their starter a year ago, and they got Schrader, who's their starter now. Where does he fit in? He's the change of pace. I talked to Al Davis earlier. You put him in a game to shake things up. He has great running ability, throws the ball quite well. We saw that on the completion. But he's the kind of guy who can go into a game or two, not necessarily as a full-time backup, but he can shake things up. It's going to be a tough decision for the Raiders who they're going to keep on the roster and active.
And as far as you mentioning changeup, he is a far different quarterback from Jay Schrader in his style.
Far. Both he and Berline. Berline and Schrader are completely different than Vince Evans.
They mark it off after the play because the ball carrier was already out of bounds when the foul occurred. So it was a 1st down, and then they mark it off, so it's 1st and 25. First tough decision of the year for Dick Hantak.
Little explanation.
And the officials are going to try to do more of that this year. And we certainly appreciate it, and I know the fans in the stands, when there's something complicated, they appreciate it too. It's not the hot dog stand, but the Japanese equivalent of it.
I like to see some people eat a hot dog with chopsticks.
Here comes the blitz. Evans under pressure, wants a screen back the other way, and has it to his tight end. And E.J. Jr. wraps him up in a hurry. Andrew Glover never had a chance. That play looked like it developed in fits and starts.
Well, a little bit here, a little bit there. You know, if you're going to get it over across the field, you have to get it over quicker, or you have to have a team that plays a lot of man-to-man coverage. The Dolphins don't do that. They play combined coverages, combined man and zone. That kind of a play is not going to work well unless the team is really pursuing it. Of course, E.J. Jr., one of the members of that rather aged linebacking core with Barry Krause, Mike Reichenbacker, E.J. Jr., they've been around a few years, still getting the job done.
2nd and 30 after the loss. Evans straight back. Here's the blitz. Eludes it. Evans keeps the play alive, complete to Glover. At the 49-yard line, Reichenbach made the tackle along with Krause. Lewis Cooper was the man coming on the blitz who missed him.
There's your change of pace. Like we talked about, great athlete, great running ability, but also a presence of mind, not to just run with the football, but to find receivers. Goes back in the pocket, realizes there is no pocket, gets flushed out, eludes the tackler, sets himself, gets a lot on the ball. Nice job by Glover. A lot of receivers, while the quarterback is scrambling, will find a place and stand still. Glover worked back towards the quarterback, making it easier for a ball to be completed.
Vince Evans did not look like a 36-year-old guy. Cross, chasing. Doesn't look 36 on this one either. Got down to the Miami 40-yard line, stayed in bounds. Excellent hustle by Vince Evans out of Southern Cal. Roland Smith made the tackle. Might be a little winded now, though.
Right now he's hoping for 4th down. He says, is it 4th yet? Gosh, I've done a lot of running. Good job by the Dolphins front line, though, putting pressure on him, not allowing that Raider pass offense to take effect. And moved around.
It is 4th and 5, so Evans was able to get 25 of the 30 yards back, but not all of it. And Scott Miller will go back to await Jeff Gossett's punt. Ball spotted at the 40-yard line in this situation earlier. Gossett has gone for the corner and kicked it away from Miller. Flag is down. He does the same thing again, angling for the sideline, and got it at about the 4 or 5 yard line. Now they move up closer toward the 10, but we'll check the penalty for you. Motion against the Raiders, and they'll bring it back.
That look will tell you everything right there. That is not a happy head coach.
Illegal motion. Offensive player was moving prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty. Repeat the down. 4th down.
So it's 4th and 9, and they'll have a chance to kick again. Sunday Night Baseball, the Giants hold the thrill on a great tear right now against Chris Sabo and the Reds. John Miller and Joe Morgan in our exclusive coverage. Sunday night at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Scott Miller once again back to receive. Will not get a chance again. And for the second time in this game, Gossett has had an excellent punt called back by a penalty and not gotten off one nearly as good after that. Timeout, 8:49 to go, 3rd quarter, still 6-0.
This summer, you can win one of 50,000 prizes.
This ESPN NFL special, the 1991 American Bowl, is brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers with that clean, crisp, cold taste. Nothing beats a Bud. And by Jaguar, a blending of art and machine. 8 minutes, 49 seconds to go. 3rd quarter from Tokyo, the American Bowl. And the Dolphins and the Raiders, 6-0 Miami. The Dolphins take over at their own 19-yard line. Mike Patrick and Joe Theismann with you. Thanks for joining us tonight from the Far East. Craver gets the carry across the 20. Miami playing without a lot of people that Don Shula says he needs in camp. 9 veterans and their first-round draft choice.
Probably about 20% of their starting offensive unit. Of course, Galbraith, Ulamake, Stojanovic, has to perform. Randall Hill missing very important time. Mark Logan, Farrell Edmonds, their only tight end to go to the Pro Bowl. Hugh Green, Brian Soche, and Sean Lee, both nose tackles. And, of course, J.B. Brown.
Quarterback is Jack Mitchell. He followed Marino in the rotation. Wants to go deep this time, intended for Banks, and it went right through his hands. Banks made a turn and got away from Dan Land, and Mitchell has had some tough luck. He's thrown some good balls.
Well, that was not a good ball, but it was a terrible play by Dan Land. Dan Land has no idea where that football is. He runs past the landing of the football. Mitchell got lucky, to be honest with you. I mean, he's running. He looks at the receiver, and he actually runs by him.
You're right. If Land is playing it right, it's an interception.
All he has to do is look at something that's going to tell you the ball's in the air. That was not a very good play. It was a bad throw inside, and a free safety made a lousy play on it. And Coach Shula, he talked about with the holdouts, Mike, last year they had most people in camp. They got off to a great start. He's concerned this year that there's going to be a problem.
Mitchell hit from behind and throws. And they have blown this one dead. They will call this grasp and control, and now we get to look at the rule and how it was interpreted here.
I don't agree with it.
I didn't see it. From seeing it live, I'm along with you. I don't agree with it either.
That's right, Don. I agree. What about you make a rule change? Now, you have to see, after he gets in the grasp, okay, do they have his feet? No, he's got one leg. Is he getting the ball off yet? There's nobody that's going to endanger him. He has the opportunity to throw the football. This should have been a completion.
I think it was a flashback to last year.
In defense of the referees, it's going to take them a little while to get used to the rule change as well.
Roby with a punt to Stephon Adams, signals the fair catch and makes it at the 41-yard line. And for one of the few kicks today, no penalty flags down. We'll be back in a minute. The Yasukuni Shrine was built during the reign of Emperor Meiji in 1872. It stands in honor of Japanese men and women killed in war, and daily the people of Tokyo come to pay respect for the people in Shrine. Great tradition in this country. Some very fascinating things when you come to the Far East to be able to see. You were very familiar with this culture before.
I am now. I met my wife here 2 years ago.
That'll get you familiar with it.
Jeannie has given me a great education about her 3 years here, and I've learned a lot about the Japanese people and the culture, and it grows more and more exciting.
Raiders continue to trail 6-0. We've had 2 field goals in this game. Of course, Don Shula probably not real thrilled with his offense because he didn't have one last week either.
Normally, during preseason games, too, you see a lot of play in between the 20. We have seen very little play, period, to even comment on anything being productive. The coaches are going to have trouble studying film if these players don't start doing something to impress them.
Vince Evans, 4 out of 4, make it 5 out of 5. Completes that one to Mike Alexander, who is back with the ball club after leaving earlier in the week. His father back in New Jersey suffered a heart attack. He went back to be with his dad, but has now rejoined the team. Former Penn State star.
Big, tall receiver again. Good plant, turn inside. Got down on the ball really well. Didn't try and bend over. Made the play. Knew he was only going to get so many yards and did an excellent job protecting the ball.
You look down the list of receivers for the Raiders. It's just a list of world-class sprinters.
That's all it is, like looking at the Tennessee track team.
1st and 10, ball at the 31-yard line. Here comes the blitz. Evans hangs in there. Come on, it deep. Sam Grady. And Vince Evans put it on the money. Speaking of the Tennessee track team, Sam Grady.
The speed the Raiders have through the course of a football game, you know somewhere it's going to jump up and bite you. And here, Grady hardly makes a move on Langford and just turns the speed on, and it's no contest. Paul's not going to catch him. Grady does an excellent job cradling the ball before he hits the ground, and the ground can knock the ball out. Vince is a little excited.
Langford beaten by 5 yards before he could turn his head around. And Jeff Jager gets the point after, and the Raiders strike in a hurry and take a 7-6 lead.
If you ever considered buying a Jaguar, here are 3 reasons to do it now.
On the left, Gene Upshaw on the right in front of him. Got a little smile on his face. He's got to love this play. I mean, this is why he has all the speed outside. The Dolphins decide they want to blitz, go to man-to-man coverage. Vince Evans makes them pay the price because Paul Langford is not going to stay with Sam Grady in a one-on-one foot race. Actually, in a relay, he may not stay with him.
7-6. Raiders have taken the lead. Mark Hicks and Cisco Richard are deep. This is Richard all the way up to 15. 25, 26, 27-yard line. The Dolphins will operate from there. That last scoring drive took only a minute and a half, went 57 yards. Scoring play from 31. Coming up after our game, baseball tonight immediately follows. John Saunders will be along to bring you everything. Then at 1:30, you'll get to take a look at the Calgary Stampede, and then Sports Center with Ann Montgomery and Jack Edwards comes along at 2 o'clock. Vince Evans, not a bad bid to retain that backup spot. 6 out of 6, 71 yards and a touchdown, and 2 rushes for 26 yards. Statistically, it's a Mitchell remains as Miami's quarterback, trying to get something started. Rifles this one complete near the first down mark. Caught by Martin, and he's dragged down immediately by Derek Crudup, who's had a good ball game.
I've seen a big difference in Tony Martin this year. We did the New England-Miami game last year, Mike, and Tony Martin now looks like he's beginning to become a more comfortable wide receiver. He runs his routes more fluidly. I think the concentration on holding on to the football is just something that he's going to have to continue to do every year, but he seems to be a lot more fluid as a receiver.
And due for aging, they really need someone to step up and give them a little more speed and take some of the pressure off. Delay, Kramer, breaking tackles, fighting across the 40 out to about the 42. Land is in on the stop along with Harrison and Bruce Klosterman, who they picked up.
I just think
B from the Rams.
This young man's going to be a big plus for the Dolphins. I mean, he holds the ball well. It doesn't look like it's going to get loose. He's got great hands, knows exactly what he wants to do with the football. Good quickness, runs. He's got 4.42 speed, which is exceptionally fast for a guy that size, 215 pounds.
When they went into minicamp, he immediately drew praises from Don Shula, who could come out of the backfield and catch the football, and that's why they drafted him. Mitchell, good play action. Throws on the run, complete to Greg Beatty. He fumbled it, but out of bounds. And if they rule it a catch, it's another first down for Miami. There is a flag down, however, back at the 35-yard line.
Holding. Offense. Number 78. 10-yard penalty. Repeat the down. First down.
Tim Rother, the offended party. Moves the ball back to the 32, 1st and 20. Mitchell, the first-year player out of Utah, 4th-round draft choice in 1990, going to fight with Sequel as the backup quarterback behind Marino. Here's the blitz, and Mitchell goes down, almost untouched. A.J. Jimerson, 8th-round draft choice in 1990 out of Norfolk State.
This is not what you want to see, especially to the quarterback. Now, this is not the backside because Mitchell's left. He comes right around the corner untouched. I got to believe that that's a blown assignment. Now, we talked about Craver's running ability as a catching ability. He's going to learn to pick up the blitzes. That's where you become a friend of a quarterback.
Down in 22. Almost botched the draw play to Kramer, then he fumbled out of bounds. Good solid tackle by Tom Benson, who shook the ball loose. Here's Mark Clayton. silent on the sideline.
Saw him wearing his glasses inside his helmet. Wears them on the sideline. Very bright in this dome, by the way. Very, very bright outside. Got the reflectors
Not that
on.
bright.
Not that bright. He really has to be healthy this year for the Dolphins to get back to the compliment that they had when both he and Duper tore the league apart.
Exactly. Another penalty flag that they're discussing on this one. It's a beautiful facility here.
Foul play. We had a fumble forward out of bounds. The ball is returned to the spot of the fumble, and we will wind the clock. It is third down.
Now, there is a complete explanation
That's
if
right.
you've ever needed one.
No penalty. He just threw the flag down to mark the spot where the runner let the ball go and threw it out of bounds. They bring it back to where the runner would have been considered down, and that's where they mark play from.
And I believe the scoreboard operator who keeps down and distance has given up on this one. He's still showing it 1st and 10. It's about 3rd and 30. Another flag down as Mitchell throws too high. Intended for Freddie Banks out of Liberty. And another penalty mark.
It's very rare if it's against the Dolphins, because Miami has always been one of the teams in the league that has had the fewest penalties.
Defense, number 58 in the neutral zone at the time of the snap. 5-yard penalty, third down.
That's A.J. Jimerson, who got the sack earlier.
Now we know how he got there so quick.
Yeah.
He's a half a yard ahead of everybody. Richmond Webb jogging out of the game.
Limping a little bit.
Limping a little.
This is the kind of thing a lot of coaches like to do. They've got still have several first-team offensive linemen, or did before Webb came out of there. We'll check the rest for you. Trying to get the backup people a chance to play behind the first line. Mitchell in trouble. Threw it away in the direction of Banks. The Raiders want a flag on it. They won't get it once
got
again.
it.
And they did get it. A.J. Jimerson again after the quarterback, Scott Mitchell.
Now, again, here's the explanation. You see Dan Hentek shaking his head. There's the intentional grounding signal. The official says, I don't care if somebody was there. The way they interpret it is when you throw the ball away to avoid a sack. Doesn't matter if somebody's in the area or not. You're going to get the grounding.
Intentional grounding.
Dick wants quiet on the field.
Intentional grounding. We have a loss of down. The ball is placed at the spot of the foul.
That's a good call.
Well, it is. Even though Freddie Banks is in the area, you could see him unload the ball. And you got to get rid of it before they get too close to you. If you're going to throw the ball away, throw it away before they get too close.
Roby now pushed all the way back. Well, he's not going to be in there. It's Paul McJulian pushed all the way back to the goal line.
Let's go, Paul!
He may not get this ball out to where the first down has to be. 4th down and 40.
Stephon Adams back to receive. Nice high sailor by McJulian. Adams in his own 38. Brings it back up to the 47-yard line. Nice return. 2:38 to go, third quarter. The Raiders have taken the lead over the Dolphins, 7-6.
Cable television, looking at possibilities, looking beyond your imagination tomorrow.
Boys against the Kansas City Chiefs look very strong. So did Alvin Harper. Wide receiver caught a pair of touchdowns from Cliff Stout. The Cowboys beat the Chiefs 24-14. Back to Tokyo, where we join you on Sunday, guys.
All right, Chris, thanks very much. We have 2:38 to go here, third quarter, in a game that has been quite sloppy with 19 penalties, 150 yards, and penalty yards called. Vince Evan remains in the ballgame at quarterback. Throws complete to Alexander. Another good sliding catch. This one at the Dolphin 38-yard line, and Alexander has come up with a couple of beauties. We'll see if Berline or Marinovich will follow Evans, but it's going to be a tough act to follow whoever gets the call.
Vince Evans just doing exactly what he's been asked to. He's got a quick release, gets back, sets up real well, and his arm is, at 36, you'd think he was 26.
Jimmy.
Nick Bell, the big rookie. Boy, he gets rolling. And Bell grabbed the back of his leg like it was a hamstring when he went down, and he's still down. Iaquinello and Roland Smith made the tackle. And Nick Bell is hurt.
Got the ball on the outside, just lowers that right shoulder. Just gets nailed right there on the knee.
Well, it looked like he hyperextended it to begin with and then got hit when it straightened back up, so he got the double whammy.
Dragging that right leg.
Well, you hate to see a young man get hurt, especially at this point in preseason when he's fighting for a job.
The other thing is, too, is one of the one factor that Coach Shell emphasized to us when we sat down and visited. What one thing do you want to get out of preseason? He said, I want to come out of it healthy.
Yeah.
Of all the things, that is the most important. He also talked about with all the running backs he's had. I said, well, what are you going to do? He said, Joe, it'll work itself out.
He's got a great attitude.
I mean, it'll work itself out. You're not going to have to make any decisions. It'll work itself out.
2nd and 5, ball at 34, and Roger Craig is back in there at tailback. Doug Boyd in the fullback. And around the hollow. Got away from E.J. Junior. Finally, after he picked up 2 or 3. Junior had a shot at him, and Reichenbach finally shoved him out of bounds.
Yeah, but E.J. Junior did the perfect thing. You say, well, geez, he missed the tackle. No way. What he did is he disrupted the reverse. If he makes him take a few more steps or slows him down a little bit, it gives everybody else the opportunity to come into pursuit. Watch the left side of your screen. E.J. Junior comes in, knows his responsibility is the outside in the reverse, just enough to slow him down so that Reichenbacher can get him and knock him out of bounds.
The final hit put on by number 66, Rick Fleece. E.J., 2-time Pro Bowler. He's had his problems in the league, but has always had the talent to play.
Had a roughing call against him when I played him in 1984.
You roughed him?
He roughed me. He claims he didn't. I still think he did. They got the penalty. We went on and won the ball game. Every time I see him, he says, Joe, you know I never touched you. I said, heck, you did.
I thought maybe you roughed him.
No, not in my wildest dreams.
3rd and 2 for Vince Evans and the Raiders. 1:14 to go in the quarter. Nice play action by Evans, and rolling, throws to Lloyd, complete, first down and more to the 12-yard line where Iaquinello takes him down. Iaquinello, the free agent out of Michigan State. Doug Lloyd, the free agent out of North Dakota State.
Play action is designed to freeze the defensive secondary people so that your people can get a step. Watch the right side of your screen. Little play action fake. See the linebackers go in misdirection. Now they start looking for people, but it's too late. You've got Lloyd out in the flat, turns it up. Of course, the secondary got burned on a big bomb, so you know they're going to be back, so you create the separation between the linebackers and the secondary.
Vince Evans, 8 out of 8, 103 yards. Can't do much better. Craig. There's that high knee action, broke one tackle, but gang tackling by the Dolphins as he got to the 8-yard line. Of course, Craig very popular over here because so well known from the 49ers, and the Raiders wide sell more souvenirs through NFL merchandise than any other team. And that's the end of the 3rd quarter with the Raiders knocking on the door again. They already lead 7-6 over the Miami Dolphins. We'll be back in a moment. Preseason games are meaningless because they don't count in the standings. Ask Vince Evans how important this game is. He's been perfect tonight.
Well, they say they don't count in the standings, but each individual player out there, number one, we saw Marino earlier, you got to get sharp again. But now Vince Evans is fighting with Steve Berline for an opportunity to stay on the team. So everything is important. It's not something you throw away and say, oh, geez, it's just exhibition.
Raiders have the ball 2nd and 8. Evans dumps it off, and that time he threw it behind Doug Lloyd, who was wide open after they did the fine play fake.
Oh, and did he know it? As soon as he let the ball, that ball hardly hit the ground, and Vince was jumping up in the air in disgust.
It hardly left his hand. He was doing it. That'll bring up a 3rd and goal situation. Evans in his 12th year out of Southern Cal. Really, the last active season he had was when he started during all the replacement games.
And you know, Mike, the place to blitz the Raiders, I think, is down here. You take away the speed because they can't run by. Now is when you come after them a little bit.
Play blown dead. Alexander out on the right flank was desperately signaling a timeout to the referee to stop the clock. The play clock had gotten down to 0.
Timeout was taken by the Raiders. That is their first timeout.
Vince Evans will go to talk to Art Shell. And we'll be back to the Tokyo Dome with 14:51 to go in a 1-point ball game.
The results are in. Thompson's House and Deck.
This ESPN NFL special, the 1991 American Bowl, is brought to you by Thompson's House and Deck Stain. Seal water out, seal color in. And by Isuzu. For features, styling, and price, there's no comparison. 14:51 to go in the game from Tokyo. The Raiders lead the Dolphins by a point.
You like to have everybody on your ball club thinking. Alexander saw the time running down. He made the call, saved the team from losing 5 yards.
3rd and goal. Holland in motion. Evans throws too high for Alexander. Langford on the coverage, and behind him, Iquinello. So they'll send in the field goal team. That's Iquinello out of Michigan State, the free agent. Fine college ball player.
It's funny how when you're a quarterback, when you come out and you hit them, bang, 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 you get on a roll, you get hot. We saw Vince Evans to Lloyd earlier just throw one into the ground, had him wide open. It seems like it runs in streaks both ways. When you're hot, and when it goes away, geez, you don't know what you can do to get it back.
Jaeger comes on, and he had 15 out of 20 a year ago. And this will be a 25-yarder. He's got it. And the Raiders have all 10 points in the second half and have taken a 10-6 lead on the Miami Dolphins. .41 to go. Miami scored in the first half on field goals, of course. And now for tonight's Budweiser storyline from the Big Egg, the Tokyo Dome. Evans had 8 straight until those 2 misses and the only touchdown of the ballgame. Charlie Bauman had field goals of 22 and 48. Penalties, a big story tonight. And Jaeger just kicks the 25-yard field goal.
Going off on the stretcher, that's Lewis Cooper. Last year for Kansas City, he was their special teams player of the year. And the Dolphins are still counting on him, hopefully to come back and be a big part of their special teams. Picked him up in Plan B this year. Got to be disappointing. You know, Coach Shula's got all those guys out. Now he's losing people that they want to take a hard look at. And that's the part of the Dolphins that is going to suffer as long as these guys hold out. Guys that can play on the special teams are being forced to be used as starters, and the special teams of the Dolphins will probably suffer because of it.
Mark Higgs will take it 2 yards deep and not try to bring it out. Well, the special teamers on a lot of clubs don't get that much time to work together anyhow, and you start losing any chance to get those repetitions, and you're in a whole lot of trouble.
That's exactly the place that the Dolphins are getting themselves into. Quarterback likes to go over. Terry Robisky, their offensive coordinator, is trying to explain emphatically to Vince Evans exactly what he's supposed to do. I mean, they had 2 big opportunities down there to come away with 7 points. And Coach Robisky is not one to want to see him squander.
Scott Secules, you see his numbers, will get a chance. And wants to throw on first down. Does, complete to Miller. Trying to make it as a wide receiver. He's done a fine job as a kick returner this year. Only played 2 years at UCLA as a receiver and had 14 touchdown catches.
Coaches like him. I talked to Mike Westhoff, their special teams coach. He likes what he can do, returning kicks. He runs a nice route. Does a good job of getting his feet down. Works on Tahan Lewis, rookie on rookie.
Miller's been limited a little bit by a hamstring injury, but certainly didn't show any effect of it there. Secules got to play a little bit against the Bears. Only 2 out of 4 had an interception. And Don Shula's offense, which lost 6-0 to the Bears, rushed 25 yards, crossed midfield only once. They've been a little bit better tonight, Joe, but not a whole lot.
No, I had a total of 115 yards in that game. You're right. And what they're trying to do here is really just establish the run. They're not trying to throw the football. They know they can throw the football with Dan Marino. They have to be able to move the ball against a big physical defense. That's what they're trying to do.
And they're missing 2 starting offensive linemen and their tight end, and Higgs is wrapped up before he even has a chance. Tim Rother out of Nebraska, who has also worked as an offensive lineman for this ball club.
Bruce Klosterman stuffed him on first down, number 53. Now Rother comes back and stuffs him again. They're going backwards, not forward. This is what you want to avoid as a quarterback. 3rd down and 13, 3rd down and 14. Percentages are not in your favor. You may get the first down, you may complete it, but percentages of picking it up are not in your favor.
Secules to the shotgun. 4-man rush. He'll scramble. Diving for the sticks, and it looks like he has the first down. Good job by the 4-year man out of Virginia. That's the way you win a job. No sliding head first.
Defense is a very interesting concept. They cover all the receivers, but the one guy that they normally don't cover is the quarterback. You don't assign someone to him unless you go up against a Randall Cunningham and feel like he's going to be the leading rusher. I want to put someone on it. Scott Secules showing some great movement. The fastest of all the quarterbacks, got nice mobility, picks up the first down.
Dolphins down by 4 here in the 4th quarter. Good play action by Secules, floats it down the sideline. Miller! What a catch! Oh, that's tremendous concentration, and Secules gives the wink to the sidelines. Dennis Johnson was right there, but didn't look up for the ball, and Miller did.
Dennis Johnson's having one of those busy nights on special teams. He's made a great play, gone into the cameraman. Now he gets a chance to go one-on-one. Secules does a nice job of putting the ball out front. Little play action in the fake. Doesn't affect what's going on outside. Lays the ball up. Watch his catch. Even being grabbed a little, manages to concentrate on the way down. Great job. Dennis says, geez, how did he do that?
Boy, Miller may have earned himself a roster spot just on the play tonight. More play action by Secules. Throwing deep. Miller, touchdown! I keep him.
Hey, welcome to the Scott Miller Show. He's got his own show on ESPN now. It's a 5-minute special on how to catch and run with the football.
Didn't take Secules long to take him down the field.
Good play action fake sets this up. Scott gets the ball up in the air, and Miller just finds it. Does a nice job. We've seen him catch one in his gut. We've seen him catch one going down. Now here's one over the shoulder. He's got all the catches.
Bauman with the extra point. And the Dolphins strike back in a hurry after falling behind 10-7 or 10-6. They've taken a 13-10 lead.
When opportunity knocks, you want to be prepared.
The same thing. Rookie quarterback Brett Favre started and played much of the game through a pair of touchdown passes to one of the Falcons' #1 pick, Mike Pritchard. All told on the night, Pritchard caught 3 touchdown passes. In Jacksonville, the Falcons rolled the NFC West rival Rams 38-17. Back to Tokyo.
All right, thanks, Chris. And I got to see Pritchard play a few times with Colorado. Young man is going to be a player in the National Football League.
Yeah, some guys come out stamped with "I can do it," and he's one of them.
Bauman to kick off to Adams and Holland for the Raiders, and Miami has regained the lead with 11:15 to go. That last scoring drive, 80 yards and 3:26. Adams from the goal line to the 20. ESPN's coverage of the NFL will continue Saturday, August 17th, 8 o'clock Eastern, the Battle of New York, the Jets against the defending Super Bowl champion Giants. Steve Berline has come in to quarterback the last 11:05 of this ball game, and it probably means that Todd Marinovich will not make his debut for these Raiders yet this week. He did not play last week at home, and the numbers on Berline a week ago. This guy went from a part-time starter in '89 to running the scout squad last year. Lloyd on the toss gets up to the 21-yard line.
Made what would many consider a career bad move. He took on the Raiders, and he said, "Hey, look, I think I'm worth this." They said, "No, we're not." They went on and on and on, held out from camp. He gave Jay Schroeder an opportunity. And that's what this game's all about, is if you let the other guy get in there and he does a good job, you got to battle your way back. He's had to battle his way back. He's a good quarterback. He's proven he can be a starter. I talked to him just before the game, and I said, "Do you think you made the right decision?" He says, "Yeah, I did." You got to go with what you believe. And I believe Mr. Davis feels like he made the right decision, too, because the team went 12-4 last year.
2nd and 7. Berline pumps, throws too far to the sideline. He intended for tight end Greg Harrell out of Maryland, who was their leading receiver in the first preseason game. Of course, there was a lot written that said Berline had been in the doghouse. The Raiders say there's nothing to that Vince Evans earned the number 2 job. We only carried 2 quarterbacks. That's why he ran the scout team.
Well, you can only carry so many. I understand that. I think that he made a career move. I think he made a mistake. And they felt like in Vince Evans they had somebody who could fill in. And Berline, hey, he had to work his way back. I mean, the Raiders take care of their people. If you don't want to be a part of the Raiders, then fine, they'll accommodate you that way too. But they want him. Al Davis drafted him. He thinks he can play and help the ball club. They're not going to hurt themselves.
3rd and 7. Berline throws. Alexander makes the grab. First down. Covered very closely by Roland Smith, the 8th-round draft pick out of Miami. But Mike Alexander, the Penn State graduate, has had a fine ball game.
Berline goes back in the pocket, sets up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, set and fire. That's the one thing Mike White, the quarterback coach, has tried to drill into his quarterbacks with the Raiders. Get back, get in rhythm, set and fire the football. On your left, Todd Marinovich. On your right, Mike White with the headset. Give that man a lot of credit for the development of Jay Schroeder.
1st and 10, 9 minutes, 40 seconds on a turning clock. Lloyd, and blow the play dead immediately. It's one of the things they wanted to do with the rules this year. If somebody moves early, they blow the play dead instead of going through, letting the play run, and then coming back and calling the penalty.
Ball start, offense, number 82, simulating the start of a play, 5-yard penalties, still first down.
It will still be first down, and now a chance to hear how American professional football sounds in Japanese, courtesy of NTV Sports. Have a listen.
5ヤードのペナルティーでダウン数は済みません。33ヤードラインから28ヤードラインにボールが下げられています。ファーストダウンで残り15ヤードということになります。クォーターバック7番のスティーブ・ビューアライン、ノートルダムの出身。大きなドロップバック、左へのロングパスですが通りました。いや、アウトバウンド、アウトバウンド。取らなかったですか？はい、片足しか入ってないと思いますね。NFL の場合はフィールドに両足が残らなければパスキャッチは認められます。
This is what their control room looks like, and this is not a collection of old shoes. Japanese custom, they take their shoes off before they enter homes, and in this case, the control room. And we thank NTV for all the help that they have given us while we've been over here. It's a rather difficult assignment to come this far with this much equipment and this many people and try to get a football game on the air from Tokyo, Japan. They have been very, very helpful, and we are very grateful to them for that. The efficiency in this culture is incredible. They built this booth. They do it in one day, put it up, it works perfect.
We leave, it leaves. We come, it comes up in a day.
2nd and 15 for Beuerlein. Sends everybody out on the pattern. Throws to Lloyd. He lost it. E.J. Jr. with the interception. This will go all the way. Touchdown Dolphins. It's the 3rd or 4th time tonight we have seen a ball bounce directly off a receiver up in the air and be up for grabs.
That's the 3rd time tonight we've seen E.J. Jr. be in the right place. He stuffed a reverse earlier, made a big play on somebody going out of bounds. Now he's right in the right spot. There's the ball. That's an excellent throw by Beuerlein. And Lloyd just lets it get through his hands. You know, you're fighting for jobs here. One play, one miscue, missed opportunity could cost you an opportunity to be part of a ball club.
Bauman, after a bad snap, hooked it left. They couldn't get the snap down, bobbled by Secules. So it will make it 19-10 with 9:02 to go. Secules saying, I couldn't help it.
Does a nice job just fielding it. That happens when you've got a new kicker. I mean, the fact that Stojanovic has been out and Secules has been holding, and Bauman's used to being there, but he's only been there a short time. He's only been there about 3 weeks, as you know, in this kind of action, so it makes a difference. Of course, E.J. Jr. just keeps on producing. Fred Biletnikoff in the middle talking to Beuerlein. Beuerlein's standing there. Like, there's nothing he can do. Alexander, who's really come on in this ball game to make some plays, offering his too. And you just take a deep breath, wipe your eyes, and say, well, what can I do? Nothing.
Well, like you said, not his fault. He put the ball right where he had to.
He's thrown the ball very well.
Grady and Stephon Adams are deep to receive. We have 9:02 left to go in this 9-point ball game. High short kick. Grady at the 12. Excuse me, Adams at the 12. Flag goes down as he's tackled at the 29-yard line. We'll check out the penalty for you.
Art Shell, of course, we talked about his running back situation. He's got a bunch of them. Now with Bell being hurt, carried off. But he still has to be faced with the one question mark. What about Bo? There was the injury we saw against the Bengals when he jammed that left hip into the ground. Has developed a problem with it. Of course, released by Kansas City Royals earlier this year, signed with the White Sox. Has been working out in the outfield a little bit, not ready to play yet. They hope to have him back by the end of the year. I talked to Al Davis about Bo Jackson, and he said Bo said that if he can play, he's going to be there. So it sounds like the Raiders are planning on Bo Jackson being a part of their ball club, being able to play football.
They'll go with the pick up a couple. Ball came loose from Lloyd, but after the play, the word was that Bo said, I want to play baseball. I'll play by September, and if I play baseball, that means I'll play football.
I think this is my speculation. I take total responsibility. I think he'd be crazy to come back and play football. He injured it playing football. The body is going to need some rest. Sooner or later, he's got to realize that. You just can't keep going like that.
What about his contract?
Well, his contract is in a situation, from what we understand, there are no guaranteed contracts. I mean, he's got it insured like anybody else would. But I'm sure that, that's going to be a situation of whether or not they determine whether it's a career-ending injury or not.
6 for the Raiders. A lot of movement there, and they'll blow the play dead as Napoleon McCallum got the handoff.
Why not? What would a series be without a penalty?
Or 2.
Or 3. The officials are even giving guys a chance to, like, make the call now. You know, they point and say, no, let him handle this one.
Ball start on the offense. 2 players moving prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
You know what's interesting about that, Mike? You really only need 1 moving prior to the snap. 2's like a bonus. Terry Robisky on the left, Art Shell on the right. The look of those 2 gentlemen will tell you about the ineffectiveness of the Raider offense and the penalties that have been committed.
4-man rush, Perline with time, and throws incomplete. Again, intended for Doug Lloyd, who's getting a lot of playing time tonight. Free agent out of North Dakota State. He was originally a 6th-round pick of the Raiders, and they say once a Raider, always a Raider. So he was an original pick in '89, was on the Raiders developmental squad, left, became part of the Oilers developmental squad, and guess what? He's back this year. Third down, Raiders have the ball at their own 18-yard line. Perline with plenty of time, throws, complete to his tight end, Greg Harrell, and Harrell very near the first down sticks. Roland Smith makes the tackle. Harrell had been playing arena football for 2 years, and he was discovered by Willie Galt on the bobsled team tryouts.
Nice pair of hands, big target. Of course, Ethan Horton had a great year last year, 33 catches, 3 touchdowns. Last week, Greg Harrell had 4 catches for 48. The Raiders feature their wide receivers and their tight ends predominantly in the in their passing attack. And evidence of that, Marcus Allen had 15 catches last year. Steve Smith had 4. You're looking at just a very small amount of their passing game is the backs.
Of course, if Roger Craig plays a bigger part in the offense, they may throw to the backs a little bit.
Yeah, Mike, but I wouldn't hold my breath on it. No. Even I think if you get Marcus Allen and Roger Craig in the backfield, you got 2 great backs who both catch the ball extremely well, but still, it's not the Raider philosophy.
No.
I mean, the intention is to look up the field. If you can get the guys, fine, come on back down. And quite often, they manage to get the ball up the field. We haven't seen Marcus Allen tonight. He's a disgruntled member of the family.
4th and inches, and they will go for it. McCallum and Lloyd are the back. Lloyd. First down to the 33. If any team coming into preseason had been loaded with running backs, this is it.
There are your starters, Marcus Allen, Steve Smith, 10 years and 5 years respectively. Reserves, Greg Bell and Vance Mueller. That's another starting backfield anywhere in the league. 1,000-yard Roger Craig, all-world, Napoleon McCallum, who's been moved to fullback. Doug Lloyd we're seeing a lot of. Nick Bell, they're, of course, their number 2, they're taking the second round, and Bo Jackson.
Couldn't get away from the pressure that time. Rick Fleece, 262-pound defensive lineman, gets the sack. The Raiders still have no word on the extent of the injury to their rookie running back, Nick Bell. If we can get it before we leave you tonight, we'll pass it on to you. A little bit different setup here at the Tokyo Dome than most NFL stadiums. The ability to communicate so rapidly. Complete pass, Jamie Holland, the former San Diego Charger, who the Raiders got a year ago. 5:47 to go in the game, and the Raiders needing 2 scores, trailing 19-10.
Steve Berline, in his own way, looking good. No, he's had to work from a lot of negative yardage, had to pick up some big yards for first downs. There we had the sack on first down, picks up a big pass play on second.
Of course, there's 4 quarterbacks on the roster right now. They're certainly not going to keep all 4 of them active. Berline floated that one in too high for McCallum. And as Berline learned last year, if you are not the second-team quarterback, you are running the scout team.
That's it. And he had the same look that Vince Evans had down on the goal. Same pass play. They both threw it. One threw it underneath. This one he threw over the head of the receiver. The game, you got to make plays when you get the opportunity. That's what the quarterback position's all about. Handing the ball off, completing certain passes, that's expected. But you got to make the plays when you get the guy open like that.
Scott Miller is back to take the punt of Gossett, and Miller has had a sensational night, both returning kicks and receiving. Dolphins showing a 10-man front. Wobbly end-over-end kick. He's got a couple out of this one, and buried at the 33-yard line. Miami continues to lead by 9. 5:03 to go in the game from Tokyo. Back in Tokyo, 5:03 to go in the game. Dan Marino's night ended early. A lot of rumors going around that he is ready to sign a Joe Theismann-type contract.
Right, yeah. $20 million for 5 years, $4 million a year. I asked him about it. He didn't confirm it. He didn't deny it. But when he walked out with this big smile on his face, I had a feeling that things might be going in the right direction for him.
Seakill's blindsided. Loose ball picked up. The Raiders are going to have a chance to score down to the 2-yard line. A.J. Jimerson. After Mike Jones knocked it loose. And Scott Seakill never saw it coming. Blindsided by Jones.
Had no idea. This is the second time we've seen somebody come from the right side untouched. Happened against Mitchell, but he's a lefty. Watch your lower left side. Just nails him right square in the back. Oh, what a shot. Jimerson picks it up, heads for the end zone, winds up coming down. This is why quarterbacks get what they get. There's a shot for you. Totally blindsided. Mike Jones, a rookie out of Missouri, free agent.
Well, the Raiders now have a chance to make this interesting. First and goal from the 3. McCallum and Lloyd in a tight formation are the backs. Lloyd. Iaquinello holding on for dear life as he got to the 1.
Down here, this is the goal line. This is 6 points. You don't go floating in there like Peter Pan. I mean, when you see how he just sort of went on, you got to blow it. This is what I think, Al. This is what I would look at for a coach. When a guy makes the turn and turns upfield, put your head down, make some contact, make somebody pay a price. Don't go in one-footed like the Tooth Fairy. I mean, I see it. You see things.
Never having seen the Tooth Fairy run, I don't know. Lloyd again.
That's better. Now he's in there churning a little bit. I like you got to see that. You're down close to Pater.
He's down about the 1-yard line. I imagine his running style has never been described in that way throughout his career.
Yeah, the second time he went in there with a little authority on it. First time was a little scared.
3rd and goal, under 4 minutes to go. Lloyd and McCallum, the backs again. Berline moves Lloyd. Berline. Touchdown.
I like the call, too.
Andrew Glover. Very well executed.
Earlier is when a quarterback gets an opportunity for a play, you got to make the play. Here Berline does a nice job with the fake, hides the ball very well, has the opportunity for the completion and the touchdown. Glover, no small guy at 6'6", makes the reception.
Jaeger on to cut it to 2. And does. So with 3:21 to go in the game, a field goal could win it for the LA Raiders. Coming up after our game tonight, 1 a.m. baseball tonight, John Saunders. And then at 1:30, professional rodeo, the Calgary Stampede at 1:30. It'll make it tough on rodeo fans staying up till 1:30 in the morning. And then Sports Center, if you stay up for that, you might as well stay up till 2. Ann Montgomery and Jack Edwards come by to bring you up on everything that's happening today in sports.
My first year in professional football, in the Canadian Football League, I played with Toronto Argonauts. We played in the Grey Cup against the Calgary Stampeders. Lost, but hey, have to play against them.
Did anyone ever describe your running style as Peter Pan or?
I've been described, my chicken was the way they described my running style. You know, you run like a chicken, Joe. Absolutely. I was under the theory that it was always better to be able to come back another play.
That's a good theory. Higgs and Richard are deep to receive. High floating kick. Higgs at the 10. Running hard across the 20 to the 25.
We saw Dennis Johnson earlier for the Raiders. Now we get another guy, Brian Jones, linebacker, trying to make the ball club. Times it well. That's called R2, the right side, lined up next to the kicker. Fights off the block, sticks his head in, makes the play. Little things like that make a difference.
Dolphins have 3:10 on the clock that they'd like to run off. Seafuels obviously not shaken up too badly by the last hit. He's back in at quarterback. Higgs gets the call. Nice cutback, but he didn't have a chance because of the outstanding play of Marcus Wilson. Wilson out of Virginia, converted running back.
Yeah, but that's what you look for from a safety. When a running back breaks in the free, when a running back breaks loose and gets free, you ought to see how quick the secondary guy recovers and gets there. Boy, you saw a great play right there.
.231 and counting. Higgs behind Holt. Good hold. Tripped up as he got to the 34-yard line. About a yard and a half short of a first down. Wilson again out of Virginia made the tackle. Higgs was with the Eagles, played in 12 games in 1990. Never a featured back there. And we have reached the 2-minute warning here at the Tokyo Dome. The Dolphins a yard and a half away from a first down that could keep the clock moving. We'll check on it when we come back. It's 19-17 Miami over Los Angeles.
You never know when you'll need to investigate.
Gene Upshaw, Hall of Famers both, as is the grand old man George Blanda. Clarence Davis was a Super Bowl stalwart. They and 15 other Raiders are here in Tokyo, courtesy of Al Davis. And Al Davis invited many others that couldn't make it because of personal or business commitments. But when they say it's a family, they're not kidding. Third, a yard and a half for the Dolphins to keep the drive alive and the clock running, and you can forget it. The Raiders are going to get the ball back. They had tremendous penetration on that one, to Don Shula's obvious disgust. Marcus Wilson got in there, made 3 plays in a row. There are a lot of guys on this team who have been converted from one position to another, Joe. That's something you normally don't see in pros.
It isn't, but it's an indication that what they're drafting and what they're looking for are athletes. Athletes can make the adjustment. If a guy is only a corner and can play fast, he can't play safety. Or he can't be a wide receiver. What they've taken is wide receivers and moved them over. Running backs moved them over. They, take Emmanuel King, for example, as a linebacker, moved them down to defensive end.
They love speed as much as any team I've ever seen.
You have to have it. It's the premium in this game today.
Come on, Steph.
Baseball tonight with John Saunders coming up right after our telecast. The A's and the Twins making it really exciting in the American League West. Of course, the last few days, the Cardinals have made it interesting in the National League East with the Pirates. And we'll bring you up to date on all the pennant races and all the highlights on Baseball Tonight. John Saunders coming along right after our broadcast. We have 1:48 to go here. And the Raiders, who are down by 2, are in the process of getting the football back.
We talked about at the end of the first half when Scott Mitchell was the quarterback for the Dolphins. He had the opportunity to go in and get a field goal. He did. Whoever the Raider quarterback is going to be, whether it's going to be Berline again or whether Marinovich, I doubt very seriously if Marinovich is going to come in this part of the game. But it's an opportunity to impress the coach, to prove that to your fellow teammates that we can get the job done with me at the helm.
Crowd of 50,000 getting into it a little bit, and the officials explaining to both coaches. Apparently the Raiders called a timeout to stop the clock with 1:48 to go.
They're going to have one left now. Remember, Mike Alexander took one when they were trying to go in earlier. They've used it here.
Stephon Adams is waiting back at the 25-yard line. And Paul McJulian out of Jackson State, who has been in camp with Seattle and San Diego, is in to punt. Really don't have the feeling that Reggie Roby's job is threatened. But McJulian trying to make a statement here. How long a timeout did they call?
Well, Dick went over to the sidelines to check with something with Art. Now he's going to run over and talk to Coach Shula.
This was supposed to be a 40-second timeout because there was no commercial involved. And it's turned into a 3-minute timeout.
Yes, you'd almost think instant replay was here.
Now let's not start.
Hey, instant replay is a part of the game. It's going to be another year for it. That's all I'm going to say.
I knew you'd manage to get a shot in before the game was over, even though we didn't have it. All right, we're almost ready to play the last 1:48, I believe.
There's the trophy that will be given to the winner.
That's gorgeous.
Really isn't it?
Yes. Looks like something out of your trophy case.
I've been very lucky to play with a lot of great athletes.
That's very well said. Adams signals fair catch at the 31. Down to 1:45, and the Raiders will have that much time to get into field goal position and try to win this thing. Here's the scoring summary. Charlie Bauman started it off. 22 yards out, made it 3-0 Miami in the first quarter. Then Bauman hit from 48 with plenty of yardage to spare and make it 6-0. That was the halftime score. Raiders had not done much on offense until Evans hit Sam Grady from 31 yards out. They took the lead 7-6. Jager made a 10-6 on a 25-yard field goal. And just moments ago, Seacules hit Miller on a 19-yard pass play to make it 13-10. E.J. Jr. with a return of an interception. And then Glover on the pass from Berline, and that's where we stand, 19-17. Berline wants the screen. Throws to Mueller. Ball was floated a little bit too high, did not have much of a chance, and Bobby Harden came up to break it up. Donnie Gardner was putting the pressure on it.
Raiders got real lucky that time. They weren't called for ineligible men downfield. Anytime you see the ball hang on the screen, the linemen count 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000. They're not looking for the ball. They start up the field as soon as they hit that 3 count. That time a couple Raiders were up the field, no flag, lucky break.
The officials may be arm weary by now. 2nd and 10. Mueller, the single setback in there to block for Beuerlein. Complete to Alexander at midfield. Brought down by Roland Smith with an ankle tackle.
Beuerlein did a real nice job standing in the pocket. Total control.
Beuerlein in the hurry up, throws again, complete. Alexander makes the grab at the 38-yard line. Alexander has had a fine night for the Raiders.
He's had a great night. Of course, you know, he was back home taking care of his dad. And he comes over here late, and he just decided to show up for the game and say, look, I guess I missed a week of practice. Let me see if I can get it in the game.
Beuerlein trying to move his club with the clock running down to 50 seconds. Throws the ball down.
That's a good job. He's got one timeout left. What you want to do is you want to save it so that you can get your field goal team out, give your kicker a chance to get composed. You don't want to run it out and hurrying up. Plenty of time in the game. No reason to hurry.
48 seconds to go.
In this situation in a game, I always like to try and get the ball to a back about 7 or 8 yards up the field. Let him make a move and get out of bounds. The way the Raiders are set up, they may try and do that with one of their receivers crossing underneath.
Beuerlein comes near side, dropped by his tight end, Greg Harrell. Well, just about the same thing. Backer at tight end on a cross.
The same thing. What you want to do is have him get the ball, pick up 5-6 yards. Now what's yours? You're in a 2nd down and 6 situation. Puts a lot more pressure on the defense. All of a sudden, you wind up now 3rd and 10. How do you want to do it? Do you want to use 2 downs? Do you want to use a timeout? Too much. Give yourself too many more things to think about.
3rd and 10. Threw that one a little hurriedly, and Holland never saw it. I think Holland complaining that he was held when he tried to make his cut outside.
What they're doing on these plays is they're taking the wide receivers, figuring the Dolphins are going to double cover the outside guys. They want to run them off, and you can see them clear inside, allowing the inside man to break out, and that's just a bad throw, thrown outside.
Chris Green did have a handful of jersey, too.
Oh, yeah.
He disrupted the timing on that. Jager, who was hit a long of 50 yards last year, will try from 56 to win it. Got a chance. Plenty long, but it was wide. Holy cow, he could have made it from 60 yards. He crushed it, but he hooked it. Well, when you try a 56-yard field goal, there are not many times where you're going to walk off successful. But they found out one thing. He's got the leg to get it there.
Boy, he sure does. He puts everything into this one. Just takes it, nails it. Now, it looks like it's heading straight down the middle, but with that little bit of extra effort and distance, it goes wide to the right.
Oh, that baby had plenty of distance.
And I mean distance. You're right.
So the Dolphins sitting pretty now with 34 seconds to go on the clock. And they will just try to run it off. And some unusual grumbling from our very courteous Japanese crowd. They want to see some action here.
They don't get a game over here every week live, so they have to, take it when they can get it. Give me a full 60 minutes of football.
Well, I don't get to see another one until next year.
Right.
Come on, you got 10 seconds left. Throw it.
Art Shell. He's got to be disappointed with, I think, the mental aspects of the game today. Too many penalties, too many missed opportunities by his ball club.
Once again, our final score from Tokyo, the Dolphins 19, the Raiders 17. For Joe Theismann and our entire ESPN crew, this is Mike Patrick. Good night from Tokyo. Baseball.